I'll call the September 18th, 2025 Town Council meeting to order. If you'll all rise and say, I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call to order, please. Or excuse me, call the roll call.
Roger Harris.
Here.
Bruce Brown.
Present.
Kevin Ritchie.
Here.
Jeffrey Van Boy.
Present.
Desiree Payton.
Yep.
All present.
Thank you. All right, and now we need to move into a public hearing. So we'll need a motion to suspend, I think is the right terminology, the town council meeting, and then move into the public hearing.
I'll make the motion to suspend the regular town council meeting and move into the public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion, a second, to move into the public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. We are in the public hearing. And the first order of business is to talk about vacating an alley and for public comments. You have information on this you could kind of go over to share with folks on the alley vacation? No, you don't have it? Oh, Bart, do you have it? I don't have the exact address or anything. If we have the address, just to make sure people are aware. It's on Brown Street, right?
But yeah, both of them are brown.
Let's see here. The address is the entire length between lots 6 and 7, block 13, and carries addition to the original plat.
Actually, that says it, I probably noticed.
I was gonna say there's no address in here, Bart.
That says the plat, that says it. It's 18 East Brown Street and 24 East Brown Street.
So an alley between those two addresses, right?
150 feet long, running between those two, 18
Yep.
and 24 East Brown.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will open the floor for public comment about this alley and the potential for the town to vacate that and to make that revert to the homeowners. Any comments? Okay, looks like we don't have any comments. All right, thank you. We'll move on to the proposed 2026 town budget.
Rather than read everything in the packet, I'll kind of go through the synopsis for the budget fund. There's a lot of details. In the packets there that I've given you guys, tonight we'll just review it. The actual adoption hearing for the 2026 budget will be in October. For this public hearing though, just know that in your packet there, the revenues is Form 2. Those are estimates of the revenue between the first 6 months and then all of next year. And then Form 1 is the budget estimate totals where it does a line item breakdown of each one, Form 1. 4B is the one that has a lot of detail in it as far as the circuit breaker, the tax rates. It goes into a lot of great detail. And it actually breaks it down by fund if you go through each page. So that way, the park might be a little bit different than the actual general fund, and then those rates will be different. The tax rate percentages at the bottom of that page on the 4B packet. What was advertised is the Form 3 that we do and we do that on Gateway now, everything since last year. So for 2026, the proposal is for the general fund dollar amount for us to spend $1,026,783. The local road and street LRS fund, $20,000. NVH motor vehicle highway fund, $180,965. The park, $120,000. The cemetery, $112,863. CCI, we had 0 again. If we need to finagle that a little bit next year, we can. That's the one where mostly for curbs and things like that, for sidewalks. Since we've diverted that to other areas, Janet was kind of thinking that we do it every year to build up our cash reserve. We wouldn't have to spend it if we didn't need to. If we need to change that next year, we can through additional appropriations. That CCD fund, which that's a little trickier, we had to reestablish that back in 22. We're asking for $50,000, we upped it a little bit, so that way, like this year, for example, we have some left over to be able to spend, even by the end of this year. So next year, I thought we upped that a little bit, so that's $50,000 we're gonna ask people to spend. You can use that for things like demos and things like that, but it has to be like a capital type project. As long as we justify it to the DLGF, we're good to go. ARPA, we had to go off the exact, of course, since that's federal money, we're down to the last wire, so we went off the exact, when I did my reporting for the SLF back in April, that exact dollar amount will be, which is what's left to spend, and $69,895 is what that's cash value left to spend.
Which is
So that's
already
what we did.
committed, right?
Which, we're already committed, correct. So we'll finish spending that through the appropriation process throughout the year. Local law enforcement continuing ed fund, $15,000 for next year. Riverboats, the most flexible, and we upped it to $50,000, because we've got, 84,000 some change in there right now, cash value. So Riverboat's one you can spend on any local government purpose, so that's good. So we can always fall back on that. So I'm asking for $50,000 for that. Public Safety Lowit Fund, we are asking for $88,000 for next year for 2026. And then the Lowit Special Distribution, which is a separate amendment, we're asking for $12,000, which is the add-on. Which brings the cumulative total for next year's 2026 budget to $1,745,506. That's what we've advertised.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there any public comment on the budget? Okay, I don't see anyone prepared to comment. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing and reconvene the town council meeting.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing and reconvene the regular town council meeting.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second to reconvene the council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay. We are back in the meeting, and we are ready for approval of minutes for the 8/21 meeting. I don't know about others, but I have not had a chance to review them, so I'll take a moment and do that.
I'll make the motion to accept the August 21st minutes as presented.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries, minutes are approved, thank you. And next, we're gonna move on to no regular public comments. Is there anyone with a public comment? Each person will have 2 minutes to speak. Nope, everybody's busy, either at the, oh,
Is he here for
I
some?
don't know.
Mark, are you
Anybody wanna
here?
make a,
This is,
yeah, if you want, yes, this is a good time to bring up
I
any
thought he
topics,
might
yes,
be.
go ahead.
Mark Leeper, I'm here representing the Merchants of Knightstown Incorporated, the nonprofit, asking for approval for a special event permit. We want the town square on, what's the date? 10/27, set up date 10/24. I'm sorry. I didn't prepare this and I'm subbing. It's on a Saturday night. We went to Town Square for what we did last year and I think a few years ago, pumpkin carving, bounce house, games, food trucks, and just a festival that night. A band at the gazebo.
So are you closing the entire square or
The
one
entire
side? or
square, we'd
both
like to have
sides?
both sides
Okay,
On a Saturday,
on a Saturday,
probably the 25th.
25th. There you go.
If you're in that
that
week.
time frame, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 25th because looks like the portable toilets are coming on the 24th and their pickup date is on the 27th.
So has this been reviewed with the Chamber of Commerce?
I believe it has, yes.
Think so? Okay. Because they actually, we gave them a number of
The-
years ago, kind of the purview over the square.
Over
And
the
they
square.
kind of make decisions about what's done and when. I think we can give you that approval, but if you haven't gotten their
Their approval,
approval,
get
you
that.
should talk to them.
Okay,
Okay?
so that it?
Well, we'll have
Oh,
to
you have to vote.
decide if we want to do
Okay.
that. So, what do you think? We give them our approval?
Yep.
For the 25th of October?
Sounds good to
Somebody
me.
make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we give them approval for their special event on October 25th.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Knightstown Merchants event on the 25th of October. I think you said something about set up on the 24th, though. I just heard
24th
that.
is when the porta potties are coming.
Okay,
Okay,
not
so
the
they're
rest of
coming.
the set.
Not
Okay.
that, no.
That shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Got a question back there?
Any, yes,
What hours will the square be closed to this
it's a good question.
From 5 to about 9 or 10.
So it's evening. So the event is from 5 to 10, is there set up
Yeah,
earlier?
that's the event. We'll set up earlier, so we better say 3 o'clock.
Okay, so just later afternoon. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Can we get that in the minutes? And I guess, I'm sure there'll be lots of advertising. You folks are really good with advertising, so. Any other public comments? All right, we'll move on to police report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Landon?
Thank you. Hopefully I have a quick report for you. It's supposed to be quick.
Take your time.
What's that?
I said, take your time.
You want to hit that? Oh, take my time? Oh,
Oh, hey.
He's kidding.
No, I was always pushing in before.
there we
I don't
go.
think we have that
So,
big of an agenda, but
So patrol
Cover it.
hours are back to normal, it looks like, 944 hours before the previous month. I can't wait till we get our TV so that'll show up better, but I'll read it to you in case you can't see it from there. Calls for service, 209 calls for service since our last board meeting. Security checks, 178. You know, there were so few. We only had 56 last month, and I went in and griped about it to the officers, and they responded. They had 178 security checks in 1 month. That's amazing that they did that many, and most of those are on night shift, of course. Traffic stops, 200 even since our last board meeting. Tickets issued, 49 tickets and 21 warnings. Those are way down, and I'm questioning why we had 200 stops and only 49 plus 21 documented. So I'm telling them that they need to, if they're going to have a warning, we need that to be written so that you know, a verbal warning. We can't track that. So I'm asking the guys to do written warnings now so that we can track that better. But you'll see why in a minute. There was what they weren't writing, what they were doing instead of writing tickets. So school bus patrols, we had 16 of those. Those have turned out to be pretty popular. You know, I posted a video of the school bus patrol, and I got 1.9 million views now on Facebook, 7,000 views on Instagram or whatever that other one's called, TikTok. And most of it, 99% of it's popular. I had no idea by that post in that video. There was a time-lapse video. I had no idea we'd get 1.9 million. But I wish we got money for that, but we don't. That's pretty cool. But it's really positive program that we started, and lots of positive remarks, and the parents like it, and the school bus drivers really like it. So some of them. Doesn't matter. 593 gallons gasoline back down to normal. Here's where the numbers are not only up, but they're kind of astounding. And I know it's kind of boring to sit and listen to some of these, but there's really some important parts here that I guess there are some bragging rights to our team that we've all created, that we've got the right people in the right place. They're out there working, but we've got a failure to register as a sex offender. That is not, that's something that we are checking and following, that the sex offenders in Knightstown, that they do what they're supposed to, and they have the right address, and we found one that did not, and so he ended up getting arrested for that. Possession of marijuana, domestic battery, disorderly conduct, and that disorderly conduct, that was after like 17,000 warnings, it seemed like, before that arrest for disorderly conduct was made. Neglect of a dependent, there's a disregarding a stop arm for a school bus that we got a misdemeanor arrest for. Intimidation, a level 6 felony, which it was related to the disorderly conduct person earlier on another day. But interfering and reporting a crime, that's basically when somebody takes your phone away from you and doesn't let you call 911 when you want to. Then possession of methamphetamine, just a ton of possession of legend drugs, which is a prescription drug that you shouldn't have. It's not yours. And we've had those arrests. Possession of paraphernalia, driving while suspended, operating after having never had a license, possession of stolen property. One of the reserves one night made a stop on a vehicle that was stolen, and would have never known that if we weren't doing traffic patrol, so good job for them. More marijuana, driving while suspended, a possession of a syringe. I haven't seen that charge for a while. That's depressing. I hope that's not coming back, that our people are shooting up and having needles all over their cars when we arrest them. More possession of a legend drug, possession of paraphernalia, possession of marijuana, possession of methamphetamines, and suspended, and another marijuana. But the reason this is exciting is not just because our guys are out there stopping these cars and finding this stuff, is that 2 of these people, and I'll let Captain Davis, if you want more details, 2 of these people that we arrested after the course of a very good investigation admitted and was proven to be selling drugs right here in Knightstown. They weren't even from here. They were coming to Knightstown to sell drugs. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And you want to say anything about that? Well, you have to come up here for the microphone.
I'm not sure what the uptick is from, but definitely seeing a rise in that and people coming to town to sell drugs. I don't know what the reasoning behind that is. We're definitely going to dig into it. But it's something we're seeing more of, and we're preaching the culture that the chief and I are promoting with our guys is a culture of being more proactive, and it's working. The culture he's providing for me is to be more proactive and to be supported. So I think it would be probably a combination of those things, both us being more proactive, but also, just because I talk to people, I treat people good, and I talk to them. We got 30 minutes of their undivided attention on our way to jail, and they tell us that stuff. A couple of them said they were coming here specifically to Knightstown to sell drugs. So just rest assured we're working on it.
Thank you. Thank you for your efforts. Very
Knightstown needs some
important
bragging
that we're-
rights, because a lot of small communities, not just the council, not just the police department, but the citizens, a lot of community, when you start making these kind of arrests, they start complaining. But we don't get complaints. We're getting a lot of people support this. They want the drugs out, and it's nice, because a lot of communities doesn't have that from the town council or the people that support that kind of law enforcement. And this is a lot for a town our size. The next thing move into is, we talked about in the police committee, for some reason the previous police department sold all their guns, and we think that the town needs to have town provided guns for their police officers. Officer Corey Day is a gun nut, and I asked him to look into this and find some prices. And we first were looking at Glocks. I've carried a Glock since 1990, and I said I'd never carry anything but a Glock. And he found some guns that they're just exactly like Glocks, but I'm told they're better. And he in the meeting earlier, he said it was like going in to buy a Volkswagen and walking out with a Cadillac for less money. And they are really nice guns. They have really good reviews. They're called the Shadow System 9. I gave you a handout that has this information on it. The guns each are $548, which is just astounding that a gun like this is that cheap compared to the Glocks and other places. And he's called around different places and got these prices. He ended up talking to the gun dealer in Rushville, which is close. That's where we get our ammo. And also the good thing is this gun dealer owns that business. He just moved to Knightstown, so he's real interested in helping Knightstown out.
So are those US-made guns?
They are made in the U.S., aren't they? Or are they Australia also?
They are,
Come on up.
ba-
This is Corey. He's
Yep.
the gun guy, so.
So they are based off the Glock platform.
Right.
So essentially, if you took Glock parts and made them better in every way, they
So who
are,
makes them is what I'm asking.
the
And where are they located? I'm just,
Shadow Systems, I'm not exactly sure where they're located,
Okay.
where they're based out of. I believe they are a U.S.-based company.
Okay.
So,
yeah, let us know. Thanks.
absolutely.
Every pistol's built in Texas.
Most of theirs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just smiling real big because that's the first time I ever heard Corey not know an answer to a gun question.
Sorry, I got you,
Sorry
Corey.
to put you on the spot. Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot, but thank you.
He's based out of my home state or anything.
Yeah, right.
But the Glocks are made in Australia, so, and always have been. I don't think they're made in the United States at all now, but we'll find that out. But with the holster, the flashlight, that's the price, the individual price. And the most important thing, in my opinion, is the electronic sights. And what those sights do, it's an little electronic screen with a red dot. It's not a red dot that projects out. You just see the red dot on the screen. It makes everybody better. Even the expert shooters shoot better. The people,
It's a little camera?
huh?
You said it's got a screen on it?
It's got a little screen on. I'll take my gun out and
So
show you
it's got a
because that's
little
what I've got.
camera.
It's a little tiny thing that sits on top, and you put the red dot. And basically, I don't know how it works. Maybe Corey can explain. But wherever you put that red dot is where that gun goes. And I explained in the police committee meeting at the sheriff's department, we had rifles. We had our AR-15s, and we got these electronic sights. And I could literally hold that rifle with one hand and move my hand around, and wherever that red dot showed in that screen, that's where that round hit. And it really improved my accuracy, of course. And I think this is something of the future when people figure out how accurate they are. I mean, even the public has access to them too. I think it's going to be really important, even though they're $235 each. The amount of accuracy and the benefit that gives every person carrying that gun, that is well worth the money, the extra $235. So, but for I'm asking for 6 of those, the whole setup, with a total of $6,858.48. Again, through the fellow down at Rushville that Corey's been working with. And I talked to Bart and Roxana to see if we had the money in this year's budget. I know that next year's budget's got some gun money going to be in it. But this year, Roxana worked very hard and was able to use some of the leftover car money and somewhere else.
The continuing education fund that is allowed to be used for guns and stuff like that, that's budgeted every year. We paid for Devin's schooling, his academy out of that, but we still had $3,900 left in there after that was paid for. So between that and what's left over from the car money that you guys allocated in there, from the SRO money that we put in there, we have enough to be able to purchase these this year.
So that would be my request, and you'll notice on the thing, and no pressure, and if you say no, you say no, but this estimate, or this quote, is good till September 23rd. So that's why we didn't want to wait till January 1st when the new budget took effect. So, Jeffrey, do you have any thoughts or?
No, and we talked about the town owning the firearms. So we're going to own them. We're going to track our, asset list of this stuff so they can't just walk away if we have administration change and yearly cleaning of the firearms and maintenance. And so, this is what we carry in Anderson, and there's not a much better handgun out there than this stuff. So
when you get involved in, God forbid, any kind of officer-involved shooting or your gun's involved in anything, the insurance company is very interested in what you're carrying, and the firearms instructors in each department has some strict guidelines on what they approve and what they don't approve, and that's something with the new SOPs that I'm working with the police committee. We're going to bring that in, and so that the police department has complete control over what somebody's carrying instead of just whatever they want. And it does make a difference when you're getting some legal battles, what you're carrying and whether it was approved or whether it should have been being carried and what the experts say and what they didn't say. You know, I don't know a lot about guns, but I read up on a lot of the lawsuits that happen with the police departments, and that's a big deal on what you can and can't carry. So,
I just want to throw that out there. It says 6 firearms, even though we have 5 people, we need a backup. So in case one of our officers get involved in an officer involved shooting, that firearm will be confiscated that night or day or whatever it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they will be off work. They have to be provided another firearm, and we just can't afford to have a gun missing for a couple months, is why we decided to go with 1 extra of the stuff.
So the town does not own any firearms? All of them were sold?
They were
I
all
didn't
sold.
remember that.
When you purchase the pepper guns,
Yeah.
the pepper gun things,
Yeah.
that's when he
That's when they sold
sold all the guns.
all the others?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure we approved it, but didn't remember.
So, and then next year we'll start in, because the next phase of that would be every officer needs a long gun, also a rifle. And, but you take baby steps and build as we build. So this would be a great step to get us on the right path. And thank you for bringing up the extra gun. You know, I've been carrying a Glock since 1990 and it's never broke, but if one does break, then we would have an extra, so.
Landon, I know at one point the police department had a credit at Second Amendment too, so I don't know if there's still money there from when he sold stuff.
I don't know anything about that. I'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Talking Second Amendment in Anderson or Knightstown?
Here.
Knightstown.
Knightstown.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm listening to the council to see if anybody's gonna
What's
make a
that?
motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the firearms for the amount of $6,858.48.
All right, we have a motion, a second, to buy the handguns for the police, $6,858.48. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
Okay. Thanks for bringing that up. I can't throw a brick to get everybody's attention. So
I was just waiting.
No, you're good. It's all good.
And that's all I have at this point. Do you have any questions for me or the police department?
How is the Citizens Academy going? I know it's not started yet.
It starts Monday. I'm glad you brought that up. I think we have so far 7 students, and the Henry County prosecutor called me, chief deputy prosecutor called me yesterday and said that he saw the ad and he wants to participate. So
Wow.
he thought it was a good idea. I can't wait to get it started. People will like it. It'll be out at the transportation building at the Charles A. Beard School Corporation. They have where they have their meetings. They're going to set it up for a classroom for us, and I'm excited to get that started. So,
Who else, I assume you and John are involved, or any of the other officers?
if I have to say so, they're all going to be involved, and absolutely they'll be involved, and we'll have some guest instructors too. And but Kevin, I haven't seen your name on the sign-up list yet. How come you haven't signed up yet?
I knew you'd get at me.
But you guys are welcome. Even if you don't sign up for the class, you're welcome to come sit through any or all of it and see what it's about. And
I've seen this advertised that you put
What's
out.
that?
I've seen it advertised that you put it out there.
Yes.
Is there like a syllabus of what you're gonna be covering each week? I can't remember if that was in there. Okay.
It was on that advertisement.
Okay.
It was what the topics
Yeah,
are. But
thank you.
what's happened in the past, if I'm the instructor, we never get done on time, so we go on to the next day. Some of the other instructors get done early, but I can't shut up. I just keep talking. So
Will we have to do any hand-to-hand combat, or?
have to, no, but the option will be we will show you some stuff, and we have some
Self-defense?
pistols, blank pistols that we use that for training purposes, and we'll actually go through, at the end, we'll go through some scenarios, because it really is cool when a citizen gets put in the position of what a police officer has to do, and the police officer's a citizen raising heck in the car at the stop, and see how the citizen responds to that. So we kind of reverse roles, but it's fun.
So I'm sure it was on the advertisement, but where do we go to sign up? Because I didn't see anything
Just send an
about
email,
that.
or just say right now, and I'll sign you right up.
Okay.
But yeah, or anybody else, the more the merrier. We got room for 20 or 25 people out there. So, and if even if they don't get signed up, if they show up that first night, that'll be fine. So,
And is it okay for some people just to come, not to every meeting, but
Yeah,
whenever they can?
yep.
So it's Monday nights?
Monday nights, 6 o'clock, I think.
Starts at
Is that right?
6,
I'm looking at
6:30?
your flyer now, I have a.
Okay, good.
It's
Thank
at
you.
6:30.
So what is it,
6:30.
like
Monday
2
nights
hours
at 6:30.
each night?
Unless I'm teaching, then it's about 3. So,
Oh, Lord.
It says till approximately 9:30, because Landon wants to give himself
9:30?
plenty of
Oh,
time.
it's,
but you can
Yeah.
leave anytime. There's no certification at the
hours,
end of
okay.
this, so if you miss part of it, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But
I
most
have a
people
regular,
don't want to leave.
unfortunately, I have a regular meeting late
Yeah.
on Monday night, so, okay. But I'll see
Okay.
what I can do to get there.
Thanks for bringing that up, Kevin.
Anything
I
else?
forgot it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anything else?
Will Kevin be tased?
Yeah, we
We
all
can
wanna
do
be
that
there.
at a board
No,
meeting, actually.
we all have, if I go, you go.
I'm not doing it.
Can you get tased?
Yeah, if you want to get tased,
No,
you
I
got to
don't
sign a
have
waiver. Listen, if Greg was here, he'd be saying, wait.
Yes, he would.
But yeah,
Yes, he
as
would.
long as you sign a waiver, we've tased people so they can see what it's like.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I've seen that done, and I've seen pepper spray too, and that's no.
Okay, I'm gonna push us forward here, sorry.
Okay.
Just to keep us going. Great conversation, good, good report.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All
Thank
righty.
you so much.
All right.
When this light's on, does that mean it's on? I forget.
Yeah, can we turn the light back on, please?
No, I'm not good. When
Then
that's
you're on.
I do have a
Voice is
question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Are we supposed to be getting a TV?
We haven't, actually. I would like to propose,
There's nowhere to plug it in.
we'll figure it out.
That's why Jesse hasn't gotten it
Okay.
hung yet. He was working on
Well,
it.
Jesse's comment was, we didn't include that in the original order, so we need to buy a TV.
Oh, but he and I were working on it to
Oh, you
do
were?
that,
Okay.
yes. But
So,
there's nowhere to plug it in, so that's why it's
yeah,
not up
so
yet.
we need to,
So we have
I mean,
to
we
get-
could I'd hate, not long-term, but we could run a cord around there.
Yeah,
there's
we're just
4
gonna try and
outlets
get
over there,
somebody
so.
in here to run.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Run a power
So
source
I
there.
would just push that we get one as large as we can buy that fits there.
That's what he
And I
did. He
think it's
measured
an
it all. He
84
had a
inch.
TV fit exactly
Yeah,
to
I
go
think
in
an
there.
84 inch is what's gonna
Yeah.
fit. I don't think you can get much bigger than that, but anyway, that should be a good size. Thank you for bringing it up. All right, now we're ready for Works Manager, Randy.
We need a TV in here because we got important things in the winter months like IU basketball games and
That's
Pacer.
right.
I think
All that
the
kinda
Fever
stuff.
playing right
The
now.
Fever.
I don't think
playing
we're
right
gonna
now.
have cable, so.
Darn.
We
Kev-
can arrange that.
Kevin, I just have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I haven't heard anything about barricades for this weekend. Do we
I'm-
need barricades up there
Yes,
tomorrow?
I'm glad
Okay.
you brought that up. I was
Yeah.
going to ask you if she had called you, but yes.
But we'll get them up here tomorrow.
And do you have cones too, or
Well,
just?
we've got the cones with the little sticks that fit down over the cones.
Okay.
That work real good and look good.
Okay, and I picked up the roller thing, and that'll work.
As soon as you picked that up today, I needed that. I had to go borrow one.
Oh no!
Had to. Okay, first thing I'm gonna talk about is the paving. Obviously, we worked on that today. I've talked to Mr. John Lynch about 5 different times, put this deal together. He's ready to go with it. All I need's a yay from you guys. I mean, it's basically Morgan Street from 109 to Adams. There's a couple
Where
intersections
we
there that have
already
already been paved, so
done those.
that'll be good. It'll be Jefferson Street from Morgan all the way to Brown, and it'll be the Lake Drive out there by the Little League Diamonds down in the park, which is in horrible shape. That'll help that'll go from 775 all the way down and just to in front of our lift station, which that needs it worse than any place in town, and that's a highly traveled area, especially in the summer months when they have their game.
Thank you very much. And I'll just comment that I said if we're gonna spend this money, that we have to know this is going to get done this year. And you got him to make that commitment to us, that it would
Yeah.
get done this year.
Yeah.
Okay? So the only comment I have is, after looking at it, it's got includes, and then it's got excludes. And so the excludes, it actually, by mistake, I assume, the last thing on there says milling. And we're definitely including milling, so
Yeah,
that needs to
yeah.
be removed. And we're gonna have to have bond and insurance. There's no way we can do,
I mean, I'll have to
significant
ask
work
him
without
about
bond
that.
and
I'm
insurance.
assuming it's the same as we did back in the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
don't
but
see
they
the-
had to give us,
I mean, we,
the information about the
Yeah,
insurance.
we still have their
yeah.
insurance on file. We
Okay,
still have it.
okay, so
I
that's
mean-
fine if they're covered and that's all active and,
Yeah, I don't see where that
Okay.
would be a problem. I mean, we did this.
We good with that, or do we need something updated? I mean, we need,
I think we need something, I mean, just because we have their old certificate.
right, that's what I thought. Yeah, we need to make sure they still have it, right?
Okay, yeah.
So if they could, and I don't know, I mean, this is not really a contract, this is like a quote, so we really need a contract. It's what I know last year, when we signed that off, they had a contract. I guess there's no reason why they couldn't use the same one, because we had an agreement around that. Update the numbers, get the new insurance and bond information.
Aren't
Yeah.
you saying 147?
This is 147,612. So I would just comment that, you know, this is, and this doesn't have like the lineal feet or something that I remember at least. Is that 11,000 number? Is that, remind me what SYS is?
I'll see what
Is that the number of feet of this that we're gonna be, quantity?
Yeah, I would say
I
so.
don't remember. We did ask that last time, but my point is that if we think about the kinds of paving that we have done through CCMG, I think that this amount of paving is likely even more than I can remember us doing. I mean, we did Jackson and Brown from one end to the other. I don't remember what, 6 blocks, 8 blocks, whatever that is, quite a lot. But these are much more than that if you add this up. And we're getting this for 147,612. Those projects are typically $800,000 or $900,000. So it's tough to beat these numbers.
Yep. One thing about them, they make their own asphalt, so they're able to save money
they've got
there.
Kind of an advantage there. Okay.
John and I's developed a pretty good working relationship, so it's kind of like buying a used car off of him or something. I try to shoot him a deal. Hey, can you do this for, that type of thing.
Sure. So I would ask the council to consider making a motion to approve this with the I'm getting the terminology that we, the assumption that we'll need to get the bond and insurance information with a full contract as we used, got last year. They paid
Right.
this year, but that contract was
Shouldn't be a
complete last
problem.
year.
Pending legal review.
Thank you. Pending legal review.
Okay. I will call him first thing tomorrow and.
Well, we didn't vote yet. I'm
Okay.
just asking to consider.
Is this all gonna be done this year?
Yes.
He
Yeah,
said he could do
I
it.
said if we're gonna spend this money, it has to be
Yep.
committed to be done this year.
Okay.
He asked me today, when do you want me to start? That's what he said.
As soon as he gets us a contract, after we vote, if we vote for it.
Okay.
I'll email him as well. With the additional appropriations to fix it, I already was gonna have to ask for 50, right around 55,000. So I will add that to it if he's willing to do, I'm not sure how that motion would read, but if he's willing to do it after January 1st, looks like it's gonna be about $98,000.
He said it,
I'll double check that. but-
absolutely no problem.
So you're saying 98,000 spent now?
Yeah, and
And then-
98,000, and with the cash value in our fund report right now, we have $153,396.38. So to take the 56,000 off of that, and then we'll be able to give him right around 98,000 this year. And then after January 1st, the remainder of that, if he's willing to do that, which would be around 47,000.
So
So I'm not sure how that motion
we
would
brought
read.
this up before the meeting and asked Randy to call him and ask him if he would take 2 payments. So he's agreed to do that verbally.
I guess would that be?
So again, that needs to be in the contract, obviously, so he can get him the information.
Okay.
All right.
I'll make the motion that we approve the Dave O'Mara Contractor, Inc. quote of $147,612 pending the legal review and the stipulations on the payment of and the contracts.
All right, I have a motion and a second for the paving project. All in favor, say aye.
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 Right.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. I think we'll have, if you look at the work that we've done over the last year and a half, we have made really an amazing progress on the roads quality in town. With that and the commitment to make sure that we're, doing really nice concrete patching anywhere that we dig, that we're doing a good job, I think. A really good
Yeah, I
job of
think
taking
we've-
care of the roads beyond what we've seen in
We've
a
went
lot
from
of
some of the
years.
worst streets to probably some of the best.
Some of the best around.
Yeah.
And Randy, down in front of your house, can you put some hot patch on that area, like south of
that
Speedway
yeah,
there?
that needs to be
That
done for
needs to
sure,
be
yeah.
just.
You would think at my house would be the best street
You,
in town.
you would think, you would think, but,
Yeah, we'll see what
Okay.
we can do.
yeah.
I'll talk about the curb a little bit down on South Washington Street. I did have Dave Lukens look at that today because I've talked with Bart about, we bundle this concrete work and they bring, you know, a load of concrete in here with a mixer and do several jobs, and we save money because of that. So that was an idea that I thought we have that curb repaired. We could throw some other jobs in there when they accumulate.
Where is that?
You talking on the Cary Center curb?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I had him look at it, the Cary Center.
So it's
across from the
broken
fire.
up?
Well, so that curb, and Dave told me that he believes it's an L-shaped curb that actually has asphalt over the top of it and then comes up. And the street's been paved several times, so that's why the curb looks like it's 2 inches instead of 4 or 5 inches. And it was probably poured in sections, so it's kind of shifted a little bit. So in order to do it correctly, you're going to have to take all that out of there, pack gravel, stone in there, and re-pour your curb. So there's probably a little bit more to it than what you would think.
Well, so what they're wanting now, the fire department, there's people parking there. They can't get the trucks out if they make a north run onto Washington Street. They just want to know from the handicap spot south if you could paint it yellow.
Okay.
I was gonna say, did it used to be
It used to all be yellow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem at all.
So why,
The street used to all be yellow.
So
Yeah.
that's what they were requesting, if the town could look into doing that. Wasn't necessarily replacing the curb, but, you know,
I mean, that'd be much cheaper than, you know, he did say another option was maybe to cap the curb, go over it, cap it, and make it a
so
little
what's the point, I mean, we have this kind of problem everywhere in town. So what's unique about this location?
Well, nothing's really unique about it other than there's not a lot of curb. I mean, I see that's on the agenda for one.
Sure.
it was
we
the
talked about
painting.
it.
The painting is what
And-
I was
and then-
wanting to get to.
That's what you
Yeah,
request,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
requesting to talk
yes,
about.
the
It
can-
was
the
really
painting.
about painting, not
Yeah, you're not
repairing or
replacing,
removing the
yes.
curb. Okay.
But when I looked at it, I noticed the
You noticed
difference
it's
in the
got
shift
problems.
and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and,
okay.
yeah.
When you say shift, I'm not clear on
Well,
what that means.
it's put in sections,
Mhm.
so over time, you got a little
So
bit
you
of the
s-
curve that's a
some's
little
higher and
higher.
some's lower,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I mean, it would look better to have it,
Yeah.
you know, redone down through there, for sure.
Okay.
And then you also gotta remember too, you've got a storm drain grate down there, so the thing has to be done correctly and curved, so the water's sent into the storm drain.
Do we have a
that
quote
type
for
of
that? It
thing.
sounds
Not-
really
not-
expensive.
Not yet, he's gonna
Okay.
put me some numbers together.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
they're just wanting to know if we could temporarily just take care of the problem that they got with painting it
Well,
yellow.
I think the painting and making it no parking,
would be,
it has to be an ordinance. So we'd have to check and make sure there's a previous ordinance, I assume, before we can just,
I'm
can't
sure-
just paint it
I'm
without
sure
a
there is,
decision.
because I'm sure it used to be
Yeah,
painted.
but it may be a very old ordinance we'll have to
I
find.
mean, if it's already in the ordinance, then you can just go ahead and do it.
Right. But you need to check it.
are you able to check that, Katie?
Yeah, you'll be digging through the books, right? Trying to find that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna push on to
Not codified.
talk a little bit about cemetery stuff. In your packet, you should have 3 proposals on this drainage issue, which is just south of the fountain out there. So I met with JT's Excavating, Utilities Unlimited, and this JDE, which is Jacob Dobbins, and he came in, and so here's the deal, you could bring 10 excavating people out there, and they'd all have a different idea about how that needs to be done. So it's hard to put, we don't have any set standards or anything, this is what we want, everybody's got their own idea about it. So we have 2 proposals that's pretty close, and then Dobbins is much cheaper. But I think he's pretty detailed, and I talked with him, I think we would get a pretty good job with him. He did recently just clean our dump up out there too. And that's gonna be another topic that he's got a proposal set up or a presentation with PowerPoints that he wants to present, first of all, to the cemetery board about how we can utilize that dump to make some revenue off of it in the future. So I'm gonna try to have him come to the next cemetery board meeting. I mean, he's got a nice proposal laid out and talking about how we can make some money off of that dump, because there's a number of people like these tree trimmers that use that dump every day, and I'm not talking about trash, I'm talking about just green,
And we let anybody use that needs?
usually
to?
they get a hold of us, we know them, whatever,
Right.
both tree trimmers use
And we're
it.
letting them,
the tree
dump
trimmers.
trees out there,
Yeah.
tree scraps.
And there's ways to compost stuff up,
Yeah,
mulch,
right.
reuse stuff.
Right.
Concrete can be reused if it's ground up properly. All that kind of stuff is what he wants to talk about.
Okay.
He's got some
So
really
he's talking
good
about a
ideas.
recycling operation.
Yes.
really.
Yep.
Okay.
I got a question though.
Yep.
I see what you're talking about now. As far as like, if he was to bundle something like that, I mean, I know it's a huge difference between JD and E, but you know, if Lukens would be willing to kind of bundle with the cemetery project and look at other ones. I mean, I know it's 11,000, a long way from 5650 from the other guy, but like you're saying, if he'd be willing to kind of, while the concrete's out there, add, you
Put
know,
2 or 3 jobs together type of thing.
Could he? Would he be willing to kind of?
There's really not going to be a lot of concrete involved in that cemetery job, other than there is a wall there that has washed over that needs to be straightened back
Okay.
up.
Okay.
But
Is that in this? Doesn't sound like
no,
that's
the
a part of this
the
work.
wall's not in there. It's a short.
But it
little
does
section.
say, see if we can repair with simple concrete work. So I don't know what that means, but.
Well, that would be the little wall. Yeah,
Okay.
which could
So he's
be
talking about, like,
stood back up.
Plastering some concrete on it or something?
Yeah,
or
stand
try
it
to
back
help?
up and kind of tie it together type of thing.
Okay, so pretty minor then.
Yes.
So you think these are comparable quotes?
I think so.
So
One of them's
we're seeing one that's half
$6,000.
price.
Right. And after talking to him, he acted like, yeah, you know, we can do this, we can do that. I don't think the cost of doing this is that much. I mean, he was pretty knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
But that's like 3 projects though, right? In that one, like the sewer and the, what was the one storm drain?
This is
That's
just
just
cemetery.
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 So, I mean, Jimmy
yeah.
Flory with JT's, he really kind of got detailed with wanting to put, air vents
Three
and a
laterals.
clean out and all that kind of thing. He was kind of going to go a little bit farther.
So he did add more. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These are not really apples
Well,
to
and that's what
apples
I'm saying.
exactly.
It's hard to do.
They each
that.
have their own approach.
Right.
So this is 3 laterals he's proposing.
I
Then
think
it says 2 laterals in grass areas.
the bottom line is
Stone
whatever works to
backfill.
drain the water off. That's what we're trying to accomplish, is
Right.
to drain that water off. So that a roadway can eventually be
corrugated.
put in there.
But JDE, the maintenance one, is the only one, right? The way that I'm reading this is the only one who is talking about feeding the water to the fountain.
He wants to put a little cistern there to see what kind of water we can collect. So then future use,
Pump it out.
if we get enough water there, then we could eventually feed the fountain.
So would be like an overflow on it or something to deal with more. I mean, you're going to
No,
get more
it
at
would
times,
be a
I'm
little
sure. but-
cistern that he would drain off, but it would
Right,
collect
right.
water.
Yeah, it would collect and then drain if it overflowed.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this JDE mentions a cistern too.
Yeah,
A little test cistern.
That's who we're talking
Okay, I
about.
thought she said, I thought you said JT's
No,
proposal. I didn't read that.
JDE.
Yeah,
Oh,
Because
okay,
I think
sorry.
that would be great to
Yeah.
feed to the fountain.
yeah. So did he. He thought it was a good idea too, for sure.
Yeah, it'd have to be filtered, but yeah.
You know, he's a guy, like I said, he just cleaned our dump up for us. So
Mhm.
he's really enthusiastic on working on the
Right.
cemetery and trying to make things better and try to help us save money. That's kind of my
Well, that's
take
good.
from him when I met
Mhm.
with him, you know.
So what I'm seeing the difference here is, I mean, there's gravel backfill and some other things here that I don't see listed on his. So he's gonna trench it, he's gonna put in the corrugated tiles, he calls it, to capture, so corrugated, does that mean they're
They're gonna, it's
the-
gonna be
the
tile
type
with little
that's
holes in them.
tile
that's
with the
gonna catch your
holes so
water
it
and drain
catches
it.
everything,
Yeah.
which means he's gotta have gravel in
Yes.
there, or you're gonna
Yeah.
fill that up with
Yep.
dirt.
Yep.
He doesn't say that, or at least I didn't see it here.
Now, it would definitely have gravel in it.
Yeah.
There would be no other way to do it.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
wouldn't work with that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say it, so it's a concern. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and finish, and then we'll come back to this.
Okay, so, on the south side of the cemetery, we have 10 maple trees that are grown out of control. And the Fred Reeves family that lives next door to the cemetery, they have called the office, they have called me, their daughter has called me, wanting us to do something about those trees. I got a hold of Connor Smith. He said he would trim all 10 of them back for $4,000. Now, he's the guy, I've been using him lately for emergencies and that type of thing, you know.
You're talking about along that south
Along
fence,
that
basically?
south-
Just take the limbs off that south
Yeah,
fence?
trim all 10 trees up.
Yeah, okay.
You know, they're broken branches. I mean, it looks like a mess, and I could see why the Reeves family would have concern about it falling on their house or whatever, you know. And it would make the cemetery look a lot better.
Well, that is-
And I feel like $4,000 is pretty reasonable to trim
surprised.
10 trees.
So we just have one bid though, right?
That's all, yeah. And he's the only one I've talked to just because I've been using him in emergency situations, you know.
That'd be kind of
And who was that, I'm sorry?
Connor Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Are we-
Clint's done most of your work.
Yeah, he has here lately. Yeah, I mean, you can call him on the spot when you've got something that's a dangerous situation, and he's handled it. So you can almost consider this an emergency because there's a lot of broken branches, and if something falls on their house, that's probably going to be, you know, a situation.
Okay.
Cemetery, we got, in the fund report, we got $141,414.13 cash, and then left to spend, which I think we're over already. But I know we're way over, we gotta do the additional, like we had talked about, so there's like 3 different additional appropriations, so in that category, it would be, let's see, trees would be repairs, it's at 1361. Already over, total. Negative .83. So yeah, I mean, we already gotta add on at least 10,000 for additional appropriation, so I mean, 4,000 wouldn't hurt, cause we definitely have the cash value, so yeah, we can do it. That category is, I believe it's appropriation, cemetery repairs and maintenance, 2205-001361.0, that's the one we always take it out of. And it's already in the negative by $13,601.60. So we'll add the 4,000 to that, and that'd be okay. We're fine to do that.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
So do you need a motion to approve that?
Do we have enough to do both projects, Bart, the trenching and the tree trimming?
Well, that's the only thing, I mean, yes, we do in cash value definitely, but I still don't, I mean, there's just such a big difference between that. Like Roger says, it's not apples to apples, but
Well,
you're still kinda in the works, but
I think we
have
just
the
need to
money.
decide that. I mean, the council needs
Yeah.
to decide who we wanna go with if we're gonna do that.
JD and
Okay.
he's like, what, 5650?
Yeah, it's a great price. I mean, I'm not sure why we wouldn't do it, so.
Yeah, I'm confident he'll do a great job.
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid for the trenching from JDE and the $4,000 tree trimming bid
From Connor Smith.
from
different
Connor
person.
Smith.
Is there anything else out there that needs to be done?
I mean, there's.
I mean,
You did a lot
don't
with-
get aggressive with it, but like, you know, anything else?
The lanes recently got the fence repaired, so that's done. Outside of a couple more trees here or there that could be trimmed back.
And that's what I
Ellison-
mean, the tree stuff, like
Yeah.
any emergent tree stuff that needs to be done.
Not,
Yeah,
not
I
anything
know.
that's really
I
an
know.
emergency, but
I know.
if you go down through there and you look at the trees that are like up against or up by that iron fence, I mean, it's probably gonna happen again that you're gonna get one blown over and tear a section of that fence out.
Okay.
I mean, you could go down through there and look at maybe the ones you think are the worst and have them taken out or something like that, but,
Okay.
I know he
Yeah.
did a lot of cleanup the last storm when the fence was messed up. He did a lot of cleanup then too.
he did, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Ezra, you had something, I think. Did you have a comment?
Okay, that brings me to my next thing. I would like.
We're in the middle of a.
Okay,
of a
I'm sorry.
motion.
I'm sorry.
Bruce did the.
So we have a
Motion.
motion
I
to do
will-
both repairs.
And I will second that.
Okay, we
Okay.
have a second now. So, all those in favor of the 5650 to JDE for the trenching and taking care of the water situation at the cemetery, and the 4,000 for tree trimming, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
I just had a question on the JDE real quick, Roger. When's he gonna start it?
Probably pretty soon. I mean, I'll call him tomorrow.
And when's it gonna end?
How long is it gonna take him to do it?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be too long. I mean, you're
Okay.
probably 3 or 4 days, I would
Okay.
think. Yeah, he's got some
Say
big.
tiling of this nature, couple
Okay.
days,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's-
Okay.
not very
Yeah,
long.
just didn't know anything
Yeah.
about it, so.
Yeah, he's got some big time equipment, so it,
Cistern and some of that'll take a little while.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'll tell you can go out there right now, as dry as it's been, and you can still see water flowing. I mean, you can see green on that. Yeah.
Okay.
When is the thing at the cemetery where they're doing the walk around with the people?
In October.
Yeah, that's
Where they have the people.
Right, they're gonna do the event.
Mm-hmm.
that's a couple weeks before Halloween, I think, isn't
Yeah, I
it,
was
on the
gonna say.
weekend.
So it's about a month away, probably.
Yeah.
Well, you should do it during it.
Hang on, I can tell you.
Yeah, it might be a little. That's a great idea. I mean, it's tied to that whole theme.
Do we continue, or are we still looking for the?
Yeah, go ahead and continue.
Okay.
We'll get this information for people.
I would like to make the recommendation that we move Elvis Morrow up to our cemetery superintendent. I think he's doing a great job. I think it's only right, and I think he's really trying to do the best he can. Things are looking pretty good. Him and Carson are actually, working well together and doing a really good job. And I have sent Doug out there some to help because Doug started out there, so he knows all the ins and outs of that. So I think that's what we need to do. And then I reviewed applications that we had 5 applications, including Carson's, which obviously it's kind of hard to hire him because that would be too many people related for the town.
Who's he related to?
Lexi and Rick. I mean, it's Rick's son, and it's Lexi's brother. So I think you'd have to rewrite the policy on something like that. We didn't have a problem with it being part-time, but full-time's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, Lexi was okay because Rick was retiring, right?
Yes,
And so,
yes,
yeah.
right. So, and the other applications that I've looked at so far, I just think we need to put a detailed job description and an ad out there and try to look for the next Rick Taylor or Randy Anderson or the next person that's gonna be here 30+ years.
We definitely need to
You
do
know?
that. That's a different job description than anything else we have right now, right? So
Yes.
that's a leadership, somebody to grow into leadership. Yeah.
Right. I mean, because I think we've had some people that were older in age, nothing against anybody that's old, because I'm old as heck too. But if you hire somebody and in 5 years you're back in the same boat,
Yeah, I don't think we wouldn't discriminate for age, so
Right.
we need to take any applications that
Right,
come in and make
yeah.
a decision on who's best, yeah.
Right. I understand. I'm just, trying to do what's best for the cemetery and the town as far as that goes. So
Yeah.
that's what I would like to try to do.
So, but you have 5 applications, you said, right?
Yes.
And you've reviewed those?
I've reviewed
Are
them.
you saying you don't have anybody you wanna hire, or?
Well, kinda.
We have 2 job openings, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the applications, with the exception of maybe one of them, are all just primarily for the cemetery. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
So they were directed at
Yeah.
cemetery.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
I mean, there's one person that's kind of interesting that we could set up an interview. The other thing, you kind of look at them regardless of their age, and I look at what they've done in the past, and let's say they've had an office job, and let's say they're in their mid-50s, and then you're going to expect them in the middle of July or August to go out there and be on a weed eater for 5 hours a day, and I think that would be kind of rough, or that's a lot to ask for a person that's never done anything like that. I mean, that's just my viewpoint. It's a tough job. I've done it, and it can be a tough job out there. And it's not a super amount of pay. I mean, that's the other thing. You're probably going to have to at least pay $19 an hour to even be competitive to get anybody out there.
so what's our current pay rate for that position?
I think we could pay 19 for a Tech 2, can't we? We talked that
Okay.
you would start out as a Tech 2, so
okay.
that's where
And
you would-
Elvis would move up, I'm assuming, is what you're
The Tech
proposing.
2, so the Tech 2 goes up to 1837, but the Tech 1 can go, we can start, even if you turn them as a Tech 1, you could start them at 19, because that's still midway through what a Tech 1 is paid.
So you might do a 90-day trial as a Tech 2, and if they work out
I
good,
would,
then
I mean, I
bump
think
'em
you
up.
need to start somebody at that lower level. They don't have any experience
See how they
necessarily,
work
sure.
out. Unless you put the job description out there and you find somebody that, hey, I've worked at this cemetery for
Yeah.
18 years and I'd like to come work
sure.
for you or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
So you're saying you don't have anybody you wanna hire right now, is that what you're saying?
more or less, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remind me, has that job been posted?
We posted it, we've done it more word of mouth than posting it. Brandy and I talked about it today, and I thought about looking at Greenfield Cemetery's website and trying to find a job description for, like, what they look for at a cemetery. I've posted, the wastewater one's been posted for a while. We've gotten nothing
Wow.
off of that one. So Randy and I, like I said, we talked about it. I thought about looking to see if we could find a job description so I could be a little more specific in posting for the cemetery, just to make sure we kind of cover our bases and what's going to be expected out there, instead of just saying you're going to be mowing and weed eating, because there's more involved to the cemetery than that, obviously. So
Yeah, being involved in preparation for burials and all
Right.
those things, right?
I've had people, relatives or whatnot, of people that have applied, of the 5, reach out to me, 3 different people, and talk to me about that person and that type of thing, so, yeah. Okay, so that pretty, anything else about the cemetery? I mean,
Randy, if we move Elvis up to superintendent or tech 1, tech 2, what kind of compensation does he?
Yeah, what's the
is that
change?
gonna
That's
be?
I mean, I think he should leave, so the superintendent, that's a total separate, yeah, that's a position in itself, that takes you out of a tech 1. I mean, I think he would, and I think he's maxed out of the tech 1.
he's maxed out at the cemetery superintendent, and tech 1 were the
He
same
was making the
price.
same thing,
Yeah,
so.
it was the same
there-
pay.
So it's not an increase, you're saying?
Yeah,
for him.
he's
It's
already
not-
maxed
it's
out
a
at tech 1 anyway,
superintendent.
yes.
Can we make it an increase, I guess, is what, or,
Well, that would be a change in the salary ordinance, I'm
I mean,
sure.
I feel like it would help him.
So what is that
motivate-
rate? His current rate?
$21.73 an hour, I believe,
Okay.
is the top pay for tech 1, but it's also what the cemetery
Cemetery
superintendent was at.
superintendent, Okay, all right. Yeah, I would say make a proposal, and then we can have to come back next month if we're gonna make a change in that. We can give him the position if we want tonight, but we would need to
Then we
come
can-
back with a proposal for changing the salary ordinance for him. It's late in the year, we might say, you know,
Beginning of
we're gonna do
January.
it early, for next year,
Could
something like
Could I
that. but-
suggest maybe, like you said, when you hire somebody new, a 90-day, you have give him the position.
Right,
and-
yeah.
I mean, it's what Bart did with
Yeah.
me when I took over deputy
I've had
clerk.
promotions several
Yeah.
times
That's a good
where it
point.
was like, prove yourself, and then
Yeah.
we'll give you a raise.
I mean, it's what Bart
Not
did
you
with
just
me when
get
I
it.
took over
Yeah.
deputy clerk. I stayed at my same rate of pay until I was
Right.
90 days in, and then,
Sure.
then I got the raise.
Sure.
So,
I mean,
and
he's
then
already
you'd be-
done a lot,
then
so
you'd
I'm
be
not
right at
saying
January
anything
1.
negative
I
there.
was gonna say,
He's worked
Elvis has
very hard.
already proved
Yeah.
himself.
I agree with
I
that.
mean-
Yes, I agree with that.
Yep.
So,
Maybe we just need to have Bart figure out how to make the superintendent a more profitable position.
we just need to adjust the salary ordinance if we wanna do that, right? Okay,
Possibly make it retroactive when we get it, make it retroactive
When he goes into that
he
position,
did
I can-
actually take over.
could be.
Okay,
And then,
So, if we're gonna make him superintendent, we'll need to vote to do that, right?
I'll make a
Um,
motion that we move Elvis Morrow to cemetery superintendent.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion for, and a second for moving Elvis to the superintendent for the cemetery. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
thank you, I'm sure he'll appreciate
Well
that.
deserved, yep.
and then that position that, that would be posted would be for his old one, correct?
Pretty yes,
Yeah.
yep.
Right.
Starting out as a tech 2 for a trial basis to see how they work out, and then we would move them up to a tech 1 if it works out, so that we could increase them in pay.
Is there anything that, I guess you're gonna look at some job descriptions, but, is there anything that needs to be revised that stands out to what the previous, superintendent was or wasn't expected to do? Because I'm not
I-
sure what
I-
his,
I think the
point.
word highly motivated would be good to put in the ad. That's what we're looking
Right.
for.
Well, he's
somebody
talking
that's
about the superintendent position. He's saying, do we need to revise the job description for that position?
I would
Is
have
that
to
what you're
look
saying?
at that. I mean,
Yeah.
He can drive the, to dig the graves with that.
He can do the
mini
excavation and all that?
excavator,
yeah.
Well, and then you're also gonna ask this person too to plow snow and to help salt the streets.
All kinds
and-
of things, right?
And do, yeah. there's
So the
more-
point is-
yeah.
It's
gonna be in the cemetery.
Right, and I think that
Right.
needs to be clear in all of our job
Right.
descriptions. That was done a
Right.
number of years ago.
and does he fulfill a managerial role when he's at the cemetery over anyone? And what are those
No, he's just
duties?
over the cemetery and all things cemetery and whoever the worker he
So
is
yes,
out there.
for one
Y-
person.
Yeah,
Well,
And
but as far as
so he's
anything else
managing
goes
the
in the
cemetery,
town.
maintenance of the cemetery.
because previously, was that being fulfilled as far as the person, the superintendent, giving his staff duties? Did they just kind of work on their own, or did they follow his instructions?
Oh, they follow his instructions. You know, every
Okay.
morning you have, a discussion on what needs to be done. I mean, yeah, it's
Okay.
all, you
And
have to
that-
go.
So you gotta give direction to
Yes,
other people.
absolutely.
And that would be in his job description.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot, there's a lot of that out there. It takes way more to run that cemetery than the average person would even
Yeah.
realize, you know. I mean, you're gonna have a funeral, you've gotta go find where it is. If people have brought a grave site 30 years ago, you got a record of that, you gotta go find it, you gotta prepare it, all that kind of stuff. And then you're also gonna ask this new person also to be on call every other week, so. That's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions about anything else, I will say that the 3 full-time employees I have and the 2 part-time, everybody's working together and doing a really nice job. I really appreciate, what they're doing. Rick's been amazing with the stuff he's done, and Lexi seems to be doing a really good job down at the sewer plant, and things are going pretty smoothly right now.
So you've got 3 full-time employees other than yourself
Right,
and 2 part-time.
yes.
That's Rick and.
Rick and Carson.
Carson, yeah.
Yep.
So, and that leaves 2 full-time positions available, right?
Yes, yep.
So you're gonna hire one for the cemetery and another one will be a tech 2 again to fill other roles.
Yeah, you're
Which is really kind of the sewer backup person, right?
The thing about the sewer plant, you're looking for somebody that's got the goal in mind of trying to become a licensed operator.
Yep.
You would like to keep 2 licensed
Ideally,
operators.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, we've never had that, right?
So, yeah, so
But
there's-
somebody who's ambitious enough to go through
Yeah.
the training and to
Yeah.
prepare.
We haven't had it since Richard.
But,
and
we've
Rick.
got someone who's, for
Yeah.
example, not gonna retire soon.
Right,
Doesn't
young
mean she
and-
wouldn't take another job somewhere, hopefully not, but,
Right.
so I don't think we're not in a pinch where we have to have somebody like what you just described. We
Right,
can take
right.
somebody who's bright enough, and strong enough to do the job, I know they do the testing and all the things that they need to do.
Right.
So, I think we could, if we need to fill the position to make sure we have the role filled, I personally don't have a problem with making sure we get someone to fill the role that may or may not know if they want to go in to be, a sewer operator.
Yeah.
Maybe they decide to, maybe they don't. We can always move people around later if they don't want to do that and bring somebody in that wants that.
That's my goal, is to try to find somebody
Yeah.
that's gonna work and I've hired too many people the last few years that haven't worked out
Come
for
and go.
whatever reason, and
Mhm.
you can interview people and it go really well, and you
Yeah.
think, well, that's the
You'd
one.
love to
and then-
find a kid in high school, right, that's graduating and wants, a career,
Yeah,
right? Because this is a
absolutely,
career, right? This is a
Yeah.
real option.
Yeah, with just a little bit of
People don't see
education
that.
as far as
Yeah,
an
you gotta go
operator.
get
you have-
trained and-
Yes, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity.
It
for
sure
somebody.
is, yeah. One other thing, the hillside there by the riverfront condos,
Mhm.
we've cleared most of that out.
I saw that.
We got down
Thank
there
you.
so far and we ran into 2 bee nests in the
Oh,
ground,
Okay.
and we had bees everywhere.
In the ground?
In the ground,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
We
Okay.
had bees, we
So
had to
towards
quit
the east?
down there by the fire hydrant, just a
Okay.
little
Toward the
bit
corner there. Okay.
west of the
So
fire
just to
hydrant.
fill in the background, obviously I live in the area and I got, not from our area, but from the area there on Locust Lane, I had people calling and saying, hey, this is a mess over here. What do we need to do? So I called Greg and asked Greg about ownership and how all that works. And basically after he reviewed it, he said, this is town property. You know, in general, you know, it's similar to, in some ways, an area next to a sidewalk. Obviously, it's much bigger and much more difficult to maintain, so it's not quite the same, but it's right of way, I think is the right terminology, for the street. And so, based on that, I asked Randy to go ahead and please get it cleaned up. Because the people in that area were.
Oh, sorry, the hill.
Yeah, it's the hill facing
So,
the north.
did the school not own that before, or?
I do know that the school used to hire Wes Smoot to take care of that because
Did
I
they?
talked to Wes about it. He said he's done it many times.
That was,
Yep.
when I went to school there, and, you know, that was always
Yeah.
school property. And I would assume that when that property was purchased, that included that hill.
Well, that's what I would have thought too. In my whole time here, that's the first time I've ever
Had
dealt
to go
with
do that.
cleaning it up. So,
This is why I asked Greg. I
Yeah.
said, who, you know,
and I will say,
who should have to do this?
I can tell you what it needs. It needs that riffraff rock placed in there. It needs a cover to keep the weeds from growing up, and then
Keep it
come in
down.
there and place that riffraff to keep it, because you got a
It's
billion
gonna come
dollar.
back, right?
Yeah, you got $1 billion complex there, and you've got that hill looking like that. You know, to me, it seems like it should be
I mean,
fixed.
frankly, the people in the complex don't see that, except maybe a little bit over the back. It's the people across the street that have been
Yes.
upset about
Right.
making sure that it gets taken care of.
So that's all I have. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing all that,
Hey,
Ray.
you're welcome.
Good deal. A lot
Definitely
of
good
good
deal.
stuff getting done. All right, new business. So we want to talk about, the second reading for the alley, vacating the alley. The ordinance number 082125. I think normally, do you have that ordinance?
Second readings, I mean.
Right, but normally you still have to read it by, we can agree to read it by title only if you want.
What's the exact verbiage on that, Roxanne, after the 08, at the ordinance number? Does it say vacate?
An ordinance vacating a public way.
It's in your packet.
We should
Bart.
get,
It should be in your packet, Bart.
Ordinance, I'll read by title only, ordinance number 082125, an ordinance vacating a public way within the town of Knightstown, Indiana.
all right, thank you. Any discussion?
Second reading on passage.
Any discussion? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion
The
to.
only question I had, Roger, was, I know years ago.
Yeah,
When
right.
I lived
It's
on
good.
North Street, we tried to get an alley closed, and they said they wouldn't do it because the town had to show X amount of streets and alleys for.
Do you know about this? And I think it has to do with roads and maintenance and being able to get
Federal funding.
funding, things like that. That there is kind of a minimum, and I don't know that where we are there. And I know this is like an engineer question more than a lawyer question.
I don't know.
Have any idea? Yeah, that's what I thought.
But that said, I don't know what kind of alleyway this is.
Yeah, this is what, 150 feet?
And if it is, is it an alley in name only, or is this actually?
It's a real alley. I mean, it doesn't get used. It's kind of in an area where I don't think there's any use.
It's overgrown and there's.
Yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't get
I will
used, I
say
should
that-
say, right.
The chances that this is probably included in that, in a number of miles of street, are probably fairly low at this point,
Yeah.
if that's.
Might be surprised, but I mean, Bruce was talking about another one that's not obvious at all that was included, but yeah. So it's hard to say.
If that's a
Obviously-
concern, you might wanna look into it before you pass it.
That was the only question I had, was Ben had brought up a while back about, I'm not sure, of course, I wasn't at the last meeting, but Mrs. Savas, I think was her name, that they were kinda talking about who gets what of the 150 feet, that's what was.
It's split evenly.
yeah.
It's
So it
gonna
would
be
be an
split
even
evenly.
split.
Between, not the 150, but the other way, right? Side to
Yeah,
side.
the width, not the length.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, both, but yeah,
I think they're maintaining it anyways.
probably. I'm sure they're probably mowing it, right, yeah.
It's Mark Tompkins that owns the other side. Yeah.
He owns that
Right.
building.
I will make a motion to approve ordinance number 082125.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor of vacating the property or the alley discussed, say aye.
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 All opposed?
I'd like more clarification on whether we need to.
I think we need to dig into that,
We could,
but the motion does pass. Okay, thank you. All right, next item, AIM Medical Trust, Knightstown 2026 Member Renewal Decision Tool. So I have one question real quick. What's our deadline to make this decision? Because earlier in the year, we said we were gonna go get quotes for other options.
I looked into, and actually, I had continued to speak to your nephew's company.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because they were a broker, they were going through AIM as
Sure.
well.
Oh, really?
And we
Okay.
would pay them to go through AIM.
Oh, I see.
But they weren't finding any different costs than
Yeah.
what we were
I
currently
figured
paying.
it was
Yeah.
probably, I mean,
They-
AIM is kind of built around the idea of being
Yeah,
the best option you could do.
yeah,
for
they said
municipalities.
we had pretty,
Okay.
very comparable insurance for
Good to
this,
know.
yeah.
Thank you.
And what it is, the actual rates, which Audrey sends the hands through the trust, it's United Health Insurance and Today Medical Trust. And, dental, for the proposal, dental would stay the same for 2026, optical would stay the same. But the HSA and the PPO actually, for both plans, actually did go down a little bit
Really?
by like negative 0.3% on the rate plan. Which puts it at, on the scale, it would be 2025 rate for the PPO for an individual was 951.42, and it would go down to, for 2026, it would go down to 948.57. So that actually is great, this is the first year it actually went down in several years. That's for an individual plan, for PPO and for HSA. And then, like I said, dental optical would stay the same. Family or, extra would be 2025 current rate, $1,902.16. It would go down to $1,896.45. So, those actually go down. And we currently have, 3 enrolled in the PPO health insurance plan, and then we have, 8 enrolled in the HSA. On board.
Okay.
So I entered in, I had to have that rate tool calculator done by September 5th. So she took that, but we kind of got to do this in reverse, which we had to do this before. They want to know, to get this rate locked in for 2026, she's wanting it like after, ASAP, as soon as we do it after the meeting. So if you do end up approving tonight, I will email her tonight and tell her to go ahead with it.
Gotcha. Any discussion?
And open enrollment, I was gonna announce that as well, for the employees too, and I've sent out a couple emails, but just make sure to keep in mind that open enrollment date is October 15th to November 14th. If they wanna make any changes to the plan.
So it's coming up pretty quick, okay. Yeah, that's before our next meeting or right at it, right? So that would. Any discussion? You wanna move forward with us or?
Any insurance decrease is good.
That is, we'll take that. We'll definitely take
So,
that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it actually went down.
yeah, $5 is $5.
That's right.
Yeah. I will make a motion to approve the AIM Medical Trust.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the 2026 AIM Medical Trust costs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you. I will email her tonight.
All right. Next topic is golf cart protocol in Knightstown proposed ordinance discussion. Do we have an ordinance?
yes.
Or do we? Okay, we're-
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
okay.
There is one, we found it in,
Yes.
found it in the
So
archives.
we actually have an ordinance?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
this says it's from 2016.
You know what? I thought we discussed this. I think that was the year
Your
Joint
name,
account.
yeah, you're on the back.
yeah, I thought we did.
Sarah.
But I wasn't sure if we actually passed it. That was the question, but we did.
Kavanaugh.
Okay, so we do have one. You got
And-
something to enforce? Probably not. I don't remember discussing ATV separately.
Yeah, we need to have.
Yeah, I mean-
side by sides.
It does?
No.
No, he's saying we need to make
have
sure
it.
it's in there,
Yeah,
right?
because otherwise,
I mean, really, I would say we just, if anything, just need to adjust the language to say all those, right? Rather than just, I mean, I would assume all the same requirements, right? So we already have a registration requirement.
We have
Wow, it's gotta have a horn, 2 headlamps,
Seat belts,
seat belts,
and no
It's a car.
more, and licensed drivers.
must be licensed drivers, yeah.
Mhm. And,
Okay,
no more passengers than their
Seats
seats
can-
for, so if that's 4 or
seat belts.
6 or whatever.
I might do some work on mine.
You need some lights like that. I like that one with all the lights on it.
My main concern, because I live on Adams, and I mean, that's just
that's kinda where you see it a lot, right?
you know, a very popular road for them. And most of the times it's fine, but I see an awful lot of kids, and I see an awful lot of small children just hanging and on parents' laps and things like that. And I just worry about their safety more than anything, because I did a little research and they said since the 1990s, golf cart related injuries have increased steadily by 130%, because now people are driving them more and allowed to drive them on streets as opposed to just golf courses or off-road. And most of the injuries are more severe in a golf cart than they are in a car, because there's no protection. So when a child or a person falls off, you know, it's usually a pretty bad injury. So that was my concern, because I just cringe when I see children on the golf carts, either driving them or, to me, you know, I'm just worried about them, that's all. I think it's a great thing to have, you know, it's economical and it's cheaper to buy, but just a few rules.
Great to drive uptown on Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't drive on 40.
You can cross it. but you
So
can't drive across it.
Landon, you also provided us with Middletowns, and I've read it, and it looks pretty similar. It does have a few differences, but do they generally allow, in the past, drive at night, or,
They can
Like-
drive at night, but it has to be a licensed driver.
yeah?
And
it
you gotta have
can't
the
be.
lights and everything, right?
I was just wondering if it would be legal to add any kind of words to that to say that the child has to be in a seat like they do in a car, or like a
Well-
toddler.
well, I think
Any passenger has to be in a designated seat, and it's, according to this, like if it's a 4-seater or a 6-seater, there shouldn't be any more than that many passengers. And you can require, like, toddlers to be in a car seat. They can be strapped in like that.
Is that included on there, or just in the seat that's provided?
I don't know that
You're
it's-
saying a seatbelt doesn't necessarily protect a small child,
No,
you're saying,
it
right?
doesn't in a regular car, according to the law.
Yeah.
And we can put it in there, because it's,
the statute, the ordinance as it is right now says that no occupant under the age of 3 can be in a golf cart.
Okay.
And I'm guessing this is related to,
That kind of concern.
it's kind of like,
is that the age that, up until you have to be in a car seat? I don't remember.
No, it's
It's
older
not-
than that.
it's
It's more about
size.
size and weight and all those things.
Mhm.
but, I would say that you already have an ordinance.
Right.
If you want to update it, I'd have to go back and look at the statute to see how it's changed since 2016. I'm sure it has. I think originally it was just about golf carts. I think that was the original statute
Well-
that was passed. And now there's all these other
Right.
UTVs that are out there.
Statute as far as what? The
The
state?
Indiana statute that
Are you
locals to do this type of thing.
Okay,
And then you have an ordinance,
yeah.
and if you wanna update your ordinances, like.
So do you know
wouldn't
how
really-
much more restrictive we are than the state? Do they have similar,
They have nothing.
they don't have anything?
Well, the state is basically saying,
You can do
you
it.
can do this, there are some basic restrictions on, I mean, there's some basic language at the state level to give guidance to the locals,
Right.
but there's not a state,
That's what we talked about last
It's
time.
not really a
that-
state law?
it's not a state
No.
law,
Okay.
because the state basically says, you can't have golf carts on the roads.
Okay, so
Right.
basically there is a law that you can't do it
mean,
unless
it's-
locally you agree to.
And then
allow it.
locally, yeah, so if you don't have a golf cart ordinance, you're not allowed to drive golf carts on the roads.
Yeah.
And
Pretty,
then-
yeah, right. Pretty much, the only thing that's specific in anything the state puts out is not on highways or interstates or, things of that nature. And then a lot of the bigger communities like Anderson and Greenfield, they'll designate specific streets that are, busy, like say 9 or State Street.
Well, that's a state road.
Yeah.
Can I ask
Or-
one question about
Go
that?
ahead. Uh-huh.
So I haven't seen it, but you mentioned that it has to be registered. Is there a cost to that? Who's gonna handle that? We need to have those answers.
Well,
It says the
It's in
Knightstown, the Knightstown Police Department is charged with the responsibility for inspecting and registering golf carts. I
Okay.
didn't see a cost, but I saw in Middletown,
It's $40.
it's $40.
It's $40 first time, $10 a year afterwards, and they have to have a sticker. Otherwise, you don't know.
And you actually have a checklist so you have to inspect it, basically. You have a real inspection sheet.
Then
and
they
you
get a
inspect
sticker
it,
that
and you get
lasts a
sticker.
year. And then they get a new sticker every year for $10. And I
there's-
don't care whether you pay or not, but if we're gonna enforce a registration, I just gotta have some guidance on how you want me to do that.
And then
Which- yeah.
there's also a list of fines here on this one, on
Yeah,
the
right.
Knightstown, like, for violations.
Mike, I got a question. It's kind of loaded. When they shut the court down,
Yes.
that kind of took away, where we didn't have the ability to actually do those civil infractions. We had 4 different civil infractions, A, B, C, and D. But we created that a couple years after the court got shut down. The first time I was court treasurer, we did the Ordinance Violations Bureau. We created that. I think it was like in 14, maybe somewhere in there. It was a good revenue source. Chief Booth helped us do that. I think there was one month where we did like $4,000 in revenue. The good thing about that was, if you established it, from what I remember, it was, with any kind of as long as it was on an actual street in town, nothing would be turned into your insurance.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing. No points would be on your license. It was kind of like a compromise. We did that. And I believe they dismantled that. I got a comment on that when I got audited the first time I remember. The town of Lawrence, they had cited Lawrence and McCordsville had been doing it. And I thought it was a great idea. Greg said they'd done it in McCordsville for years, made good money. But we had to, since we got written up or a comment on that in the first audit, they explained because of the way that it was like grandfathered in or something. Could we check into that? I mean, if that would be some kind of possibility to where we go back to making revenue on side streets, I just don't know enough about that. Would that be something that we could recreate an Ordinance Violations Bureau again?
I mean,
Because we had one and then we dismantled one and then, but I know towns have it, so I just don't know much about it.
Jeff has a
Could they
comment.
come in and contest an ordinance violation if someone wanted to come in and contest it?
Well,
That's a good
Well,
question.
in
You
a
know.
situation where you have an ordinance violations bureau, if you want to pay it, it goes. You go in, you pay the bureau. But if you want to challenge it, then it's like, okay, well, we're gonna go file it like we would any other municipal ordinance violation, and it would go to the courts, and you go through that process. But because otherwise, because you have to go to court, you don't have town court.
Right.
But the ordinance violations bureau is there to kind of facilitate
Basically
those.
just collect.
That's, to kind of work that process. So,
I have a
don't
little
know.
insight on what Bart was talking about. What they said is you can still collect, I can't say it officially like the attorney said, but you can still collect those fines, but you still, if it's a speeding fine, you have to divide it amongst the people as if it was a state ordinance. So much goes to the state, so much goes to the academy. So you can still do it, but you just don't get all of it. You have to divide it out.
And I think we had hit, if I remember, I think we set it at like $50 on side streets for speeding tickets, and maybe it was like $25 for parking tickets, but you're right, I remember that was an issue too, it divided it up. the rates, because I think we had to end up, Sarah said we had to pay back probably what you're talking about, the actual division part. We didn't know all that, so, but I just don't know how these other towns
places
do
that
it.
I've seen that the Bureau, part of the problem with the speeding violations is at a certain point, it's a lot of work to kind of handle that process locally, and treat it kind of differently. And so a lot of places are just like, we're just gonna run it the way we do the other speeding tickets.
So how do you handle
But then
an
we-
ordinance? So we have a lot of ordinances,
Yeah.
you know, like zoning, right? Or, you know, things like that, you know, or other areas. So if people, I know we send letters and things, and we kind of threaten a little bit about, hey, you need to follow the ordinance, but is there any, there's really no teeth behind that.
There is.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if part of the reason that you send letters to people and say, hey, can we get this fixed,
All right.
is because the next step is you go to court.
Yeah, okay.
You file it
Okay,
with the
so
town.
you just file
It's-
with
It's
court.
like,
Okay.
you know, it's like with the
Yeah.
overgrown houses and
Sure,
things like that.
sure.
You're like, at some certain point, you're like, hey, can you fix this? Can you fix this? And then at a certain point, you're like, okay, well, we have to get the courts involved.
Right.
To
Yeah,
get
and we've done that
that,
with homes.
And that's an ordinance violation.
Right, okay.
And so
All right,
that's that
so there is.
process.
So, yeah. So
But I would say
I
that-
like that answer. I mean, I think, personally, I don't want to see the town being any more heavy-handed than is absolutely required. You know, I mean, even just this golf cart ordinance, you know, yeah, I understand the safety but I think parents have a responsibility to take care of their children and families. So I'm a little more in that court around not regulating everything in the world. I mean, I'm sure if we, obviously we already have an ordinance, so I'm not
sorry,
saying
I
we don't, we do,
disagree.
and it's there, and we're gonna need to, you know, go with that, but, and adjust it, I guess, for these other things. But my point is that I don't wanna see us get into this regulation mode. You know, I don't think we need to be regulating everybody's lives. It's not I'm a conservative, and I believe in low government as best as possible. And I hope we can stick with that in Knightstown. So that's my,
So just, do you want me to pursue a registration process or just not worry about registering them?
I
The
think,
ordinance says that it is supposed to be registered.
Yeah,
That
so it's
all
already
golf
there.
carts are supposed to be registered
Right.
and checked out and make sure brakes work and everything else. So I think that we need to do that.
and I agree, the less government, the better, but that doesn't supersede children's safety. That's priority number one. I've seen too many instances of that not being, but I think that, you know, they just assume that it's, you know, they're safe in a golf cart because it's slower. Actually, the slow speeds can even cause more accidents because the cars don't, you know, make up for that, or they don't look at it right. And I think that in this case that I'm talking about a bunch of other things that get in people's lives. But if my grandchild, which my grandchild's now too old, but if I had a great grandchild, you know, that this happened to, and you understand when people get in golf cart accidents, it's way more likely that there's going to be more serious injury, which two cars colliding might be a fender bender. But when you're talking about overcrowding on a golf cart with nothing covering you, and no one's seat belted, you know, I've looked at, you know, I didn't want to get there, but I really researched it. There's all kinds of videos of golf cart accidents, and the children and the older people. It's really big with older people too in Florida, and the injuries that can cause. I'm not saying that golf carts are more, are dangerous. It's all, you know, parents and people need to realize that, you know, they're not a toy. And I'm very concerned about that because I've seen what they're doing down Adams, and I'm just very concerned about that. And we don't need a first serious accident, or God forbid, a fatality. That would be on us right now if that happened because we didn't have any rules about it.
I disagree.
Oh,
We
yes,
have
it would.
rules, but
Well,
it's
then we
not on
need-
us. Parents have a responsibility to manage their own people. their own
But
family.
you're saying,
What's the legal perspective?
yes, it is on us if
What's
we
the legal
don't,
perspective?
if we don't pass and
We already have
enforce
one.
it.
We already have one.
Well,
But
Yeah,
have
we
we
should
been
enforce it. I
enforcing
agree.
it?
I agree, we have to enforce it.
So what's the talk about not over regulating people?
It's just a general comment.
Okay, it has nothing to do with the golf court or.
It would if we didn't already have an ordinance.
Oh, so you wouldn't be.
So I'm not proposing that we get rid of it.
I mean,
I'm asking about the
one
legal
way of
perspective.
approaching this is that I've seen other places is when people have a golf cart ordinance with that the registration piece. Part of it is to check to make sure those things are safe to be on the public roads, because you don't want somebody driving around with a golf cart where their wheel just pops off and they're starting to get in an accident with somebody else. So there is that kind of basic. They're on the public right of way. You want to make sure that these are minimally safe, and that if they're driving at night, they have lights so they don't get run over, that kind of thing. So there's that part. But the other part of it with other communities is that they take that when people come in to get them looked at, that's an opportunity for the police department to let them know what the rules are with regard to golf carts, because people look at golf carts and they're like, oh, this is basically like walking but easier.
Right,
So there are no rules.
right.
But the reality is,
So what's the difference between and I'm just hypothetical, what's the difference between that and a scooter or electric scooter?
Yeah.
How about
You
electric
see
scooter
these
drive,
kids
lots of
flying
kids
all the
flying
time.
down the
Well-
road.
there's some people have regulated those too. There's other
I-
places where kids are zipping through those. In the town I live in, some girl was zipping through, completely ignored all
Yeah, right. I mean, it's
everything,
like-
and got hit by a car.
Yeah,
But the thing is with the registration process, the officer who's there can say, hey, these are the rules that you have to follow. Also, you can still get a DUI while driving golf carts if the golf cart qualifies. So some people look at it like, oh, this is my way kind of around that. And it's like, well,
So
Well-
what about an unpowered scooter? I'm talking about a push,
like a,
like a little tiny, I don't know I forget what you call them, but basically
Like a kick
a
and
little,
game.
a little two-wheeler that you got a little handle, and my kids get out on just the local streets.
I mean, that is,
My grandkids, I
that's an
should say.
unpowered vehicle, like a bicycle.
Yeah.
Where you're supposed to follow the rules of the road when you're on the road.
Okay.
And I think the issue though with the golf carts and other places is because they are kind of that weird place between the unpowered, they're kind of they're slower moving, they're not quite cars,
Sure.
but they're a lot closer to cars than they are to bikes. And
Yeah.
so that's why some of these rules came up, because they were like, hey, we need to have some sort of regulation, because too many people are using them to ignore.
So I'm just gonna have, the reason I keep asking is because we're live stream now, people are gonna ask and we wanna enforce them.
Yep.
I don't mind going through the registration process, but, that's why I just keep saying, if you want me to start that, I think we should pick a date like November 1st to say, after November 1st, you have to be registered, we're gonna start enforcing that. This would be enforced now, but the registration process, let us order some stickers to put on the cart so we know whether they've been registered or not. Otherwise, you have no idea of knowing. So that would be the direction I wanna go if that's what you guys want.
I think if we've got an ordinance. Sorry, go ahead. You had
and I think that there might be some fine tuning as far as wording, like you said, including ATV wording or side by side, anything like that. But this one looks pretty thorough, and then I think the Middletown one was pretty much the same. It might have differed on,
Except for the inspection sheet, which if we're gonna do
Inspection.
this, and we're gonna
Yeah.
inspect, we need a sheet with
yeah,
some history captured that says we did the inspection, not that we just handed out a sticker to somebody.
right.
We did the inspection and they sign off. I don't remember if that says that.
So is there, so is there
Yeah,
gonna
this
be?
says officer. Personally, I think the customer or the person getting the inspection should sign off also
Yeah,
and say, yeah, I agree that this was inspected and this is the situation. And if it fails, and they need to sign off and agree that they won't drive this on the street unless they get it fixed.
So registration will be no fee, Is that what you want? Because
I-
otherwise he has
I'm
to
saying
write a
the
fee in there
registration, no
when
fee,
he
and
adds the
$10
ATV in it.
sticker fee. I don't think we need to do 40.
Yeah, 40 cents.
I
Suppose you
mean,
could charge a
but
little
you
bit for
probably
the
need to
sticker.
cover
I
the
think you
cost
could do
of
no
the
fee
sticker.
personally, but.
just
it's
no,
up to
just
you.
no. I'm fine with no. fee.
Stickers are hardly gonna cost you anything.
Okay.
So,
Do you have an idea?
Make a donation to your police department
Yeah.
or something like that.
Nobody's gonna do that.
I think we get into a problem with
Let's stay
that.
away from the regulation and the donation.
right, yeah, right. We don't wanna push people to do something
I
based
feel
on a
like that's gonna
regulation.
look bad.
And Landon, I'm
Yes.
kind of thinking about like law enforcement stuff here. Where are you guys putting stickers in Middletown on the vehicle? Where are
Up
they
on the
going?
driver's side, bottom corner of the windshield.
In the
Uh,
ordinance, it says on the left.
Okay.
I was reading.
Well, I'm just thinking that, we don't want our officers making case law. Are we stopping them to see if they have a sticker?
We don't.
Okay.
If they don't have a
Well,
sticker, we stop them. Up there.
Okay.
And here, that's what, if we're gonna do this, there has to be a sticker. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
I'm
can't
just
stop 'em
saying,
and
if
say-
you're following a golf cart, you can't see it in the bottom part of the.
Or we see it, we
Is your
meet them.
license plate reader gonna read these?
Yeah, no.
No, I'm just thinking about, I don't want our officers getting in trouble and, getting a big bus and it getting thrown out in court because of something stupid like this, so.
I can do it either way you want, but we find we have very much luck up there with having it because we
Okay.
pass more than we follow, basically, on the
Okay.
road going the opposite direction. We don't like follow them, and that way it's,
Okay.
and if you see one going, you can flip around the block and get in front of them and see, so.
What is the most common reason that a golf cart is stopped in Middletown? I mean, what's,
99% of the time, they operate the way they're supposed to, but if we see a young child driving it, or somebody driving too fast, or running a stop sign, but just as, most people, 99% of the people up there, as here, I don't see many violations, but there are some,
well, you don't live on Adams Street.
Yeah, I mean, I see what looks like younger kids, not 8-year-olds, but
I see a
12,
lot.
14, 15-year-olds driving these with a few other kids on there. And actually, I've noticed them stopping. I mean, they usually, they know they need to stop at a stop sign. But I'm sure it doesn't happen every time.
Right.
I mean, people fly it down Adam Street. They always
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Which is why there's all
It's
the
all,
stop
I mean,
signs, right?
all kinds of vehicles
So I'll work on
speed
that,
on that.
but I would ask that you have the attorney add the ATV,
Right.
and
And I would say add the inspection form from Middletown and add the signature for both the police officer, which is there, and also the person getting the inspection.
okay.
Bart, or whoever was here, do you remember who wrote this up, or how you came about
Greg
to
did
this?
it.
I left in 15.
Yeah,
so
he
it
was here.
The year after I
Yeah.
left.
Greg-
It's
Greg
pretty,
wrote it. He'll
it's
have
pretty
it.
thorough.
Sure he'll have it.
But I will say that the ordinance violate, if that was 16, that we didn't
Said
dismantle it, or
16.
17, okay. That ordinance violations bureau would have been in effect, because they didn't, I don't think, Sarah said they dismantled, I think in 18 or 19.
This says
So
it was
it would've
signed
been-
in 2016.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that would have been going on. And from what I remember, I mean, we really didn't have, like Roger said, we really didn't have any leverage, because I mean, we would turn it into the clerk's office, and then since there was nothing, we just didn't have any teeth, they wouldn't pay their,
But it's,
we had like 3 warnings. So I was kind of wondering how I think McCordsville had always been pretty successful with making revenue off. I just don't know what all their protocol was as far as leverage
the
with
funny
the
thing,
next
you have an
county.
older ordinance and the fine's $25, and to file a lawsuit, it's $175.
Exactly.
So-
So you start turning those in, right, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
You've got what you need there to make the adjustments?
Have a good starting point.
Okay.
I'll talk to Greg about it and we'll revisit it. I'm sure there's some.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we want to cover all the bases
Yeah,
for
just
the
looking
types
at
of
this,
vehicles there.
There's some things that need to get
And,
updated.
okay.
And
Yeah, if you
the other
guys could
thing-
update it and send it out to us for review, then.
And the other thing too on the violations, ordinance violations, one thing that I did, this is, the previous slide, one of the things we found out was that sometimes you were doing ordinance violations on state roads, which you're not supposed to do. And everyone's like, hey, look at all this money we're making because we're stopping on and doing an ordinance violation on a state road, and you're like, yeah, that, and then the state found out and they said, you can't do that. So sometimes those violations bureaus maybe were making money that they shouldn't have been making because people were not doing them the way they should. I don't know about here, but other places that's what's the case.
And that could have been.
Yeah, I think we were just the opposite. We were not doing anything on the state roads at one time, but, okay.
Jeff
All
had
right.
something.
Oh, sorry, yes.
But the other thing is with the ordinance violations, I mean, the town has all kinds of ordinances that are not traffic related that have fines for violations. You know, that they could be enforcing, and it doesn't necessarily involve having to go to court to do it. I mean, you just, if somebody has violated an ordinance, you give them notice and pay it.
Well, the issue is if they challenge it, then you have to go through the process.
Sure.
If they say, this is part of the reason you send the letter, you say, hey, you're violating this, this is your.
Which,
say,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
they go, oh shoot, here's the check,
I better
then
fix
it's
it.
done. But if they say, no, I don't think I did that, then you have to go through the whole judicial process.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing too is that you have ordinances that, most places can't enforce all the ordinances all the time,
Sure.
all over the place. Chief knows this, so you kind of pick and choose the, maybe the largest impact. That happens. So.
Yeah, because we sent out a lot of those hazardous abatement letters, and yeah, I mean, we don't really.
Right. Well, we do have a series of steps that we go through with those, so we can enforce those,
Yeah.
and we have. Okay, so the next item is cemetery position, which we've already covered.
Yeah.
And then we have town engineer. I will mention that, as we discussed in our last meeting, Greg did send me an example RFP request for, RFQ request for qualifications. Basically, all the companies we discussed, and he has already sent that out. So we'll wait to receive those results. Are there any other, and I will just say I have had no interaction with anyone from Gonzalez. Dan did send another meeting.
We have,
I
comment.
sent that
we got 2 more invoices.
Oh,
from
you did?
them. We have
Okay.
a total of almost $26,000 in invoices.
And what are the invoices for? That's a good discussion.
So the $8,000 one that we held last month that we discussed. There's an $813 one that just says
Wait,
professional.
what are they for? What does it say? on it?
Professional services from July 19th, 2025 to August 15th, 2025.
Okay.
And then the other one is for
What?
$16,800. And it is for, give me 1 second, I'm pulling it up. October 30th of 2022 to January 25th of 2025.
Did you say
And it-
22?
Yes.
That wasn't.
And
What
all
is
it
that?
says is it's got a whole bunch of numbers and everything in here, but basically it breaks it down to contract admin is what it says. That's all it says. There is no other information regarding what that $16,000 covers as far as contract admin. So we have a total of about $26,000 in
So-
invoices with them that,
We need more information and details about what we're paying for on these items.
yeah, this last one
And
says
what are
it's
they,
for
I
the
mean, if
State
they're
Road
related to a
109.
specific contract or something.
This one, the $16,000 one says it's for the State Road 109 to I-70 wastewater extension.
Okay.
That's what that one is for. The
And what is it called? Admin?
admin, contract admin is all it says. That's what that fee is for.
Contract admin.
The $8,000 one that you guys
There
held
has been
last
work
month,
done there, so I'm not gonna deny that there was
Yeah.
work done during, I mean, that's going back to 22, so that's a long time.
So he hasn't charged like in 22 and 23 and 20, whatever, anything?
So
There's
there was
been-
actually
there's
been-
significant payments through,
Yeah,
from the
there's been
county
significant
monies.
payments,
I mean, that
yes.
could be paid from the county money, we have that money, that's wastewater, and the county gave us, what, 600 and some thousand?
In that EDA.
I think we paid out,
$675,000.
did we
We've-
pay out
we've
400
paid
and
out
some
pretty
thousand
large
already
chunks to them,
for the
yes.
design, and, I mean, there was a lot of work
Yeah.
done there, so, you know,
Yeah, but
I'm
why?
not denying that.
Yeah, and I understand, but why didn't he charge for that back in 22?
Yeah, I think we need more detail, I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe he did.
And then the email that I sent out after last council meeting calling, I never heard back from the guy. When I tried calling him, I keep getting sent to voicemail.
At Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't tried to call back there. I did call Dan. It's been a while, quite a while, probably. Probably was, I don't know if it was after the last meeting. Might have been. And we did get, at one point, I think we got an email from Dan, like all of us probably were copied. It was after the last meeting saying that he would work with, I think Gonzalez, you know, to set up a meeting, and I didn't hear any more, so. Yeah, I think we just need a lot more details on these stuff. I don't know if we need to get you guys involved at this point. I assume we just need to request,
I think you just,
more details. I mean, I don't
ask
wanna
them for more
create any
detail.
legal situation here. We just need to make sure we get what we need. So if you guys could make a request for more details on what
Yeah.
work was completed on these items. So is there anything there that we can say, yes, okay, we understand and we think we need to go ahead and pay that?
Honestly,
Didn't we
as
get
a-
a feedback on one of them? Seems like I remember an email saying this was
the most recent one we
delinquent
got
and here's
that
the
was-
reason why that needs to get paid.
We didn't get any feedback on these last two that we got. The most recent ones that we got, the $16,000 one, he has assessment phase, design engineering, contract admin, and resident inspection listed out with the base amounts and then how much the percentages, what have you. But the only one that we got charged for was the contract admin. That's the only thing they put an actual dollar amount for this period in, but that's all it says. It does not say, what, any further than just that the period of work was from October 30th of 2022 to January 25th of this year.
So I would ask for more details on what was included in those tasks, the hours and the work that was completed for that administration. And then there's one that was for July, you said? It was like
Yes,
engineering?
there's it's $813 that we got again this month.
Okay.
It was for design engineering, and that's all it says.
Okay.
Professional services from July 19th to August 15th. For design engineering, that's all it says again.
I'd recommend we hold that one too.
Yeah. We did not even put the two newest ones on there, cause I still have the $8,000 check that we held last month. So we didn't even put these on here until you guys
But we need
had
to
a
take
chance
action and
discuss
tell
it.
them that
Yeah.
we're not paying them. At
Yeah.
this point, we need more information.
Okay.
And, I mean, I think I'm guessing we should be able to get reasonable documentation for the 22 to 25, assuming, they have that. They came up with a number somehow there. Now, the 800, I'm not saying nothing happened there. Even though Dan
Right.
wasn't maybe communicating, he did have another person at one time. Maybe, I did have him involved in a meeting at one point. And maybe two. We did meet on phone calls, right? Maybe just one phone call with Speedway. So those things are chargeable events, I'm sure. I don't remember the exact dates. I could get that one if I needed to. So some of that, I can see charges for that. And he may have had somebody do some additional work based on something we discussed. I don't remember that at this point.
We'll definitely.
But I believe
we'll
all
follow
of
up on
that,
all these.
we need to know if that's wastewater related specifically. Because if that's true, then we have dollars that we should be able to pay that
All
with.
three of them do state that
They
it
do
is
say wastewater.
specifically to the wastewater,
Okay, that's good to
yes.
know. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just go back and tell them, okay, we're willing to pay this. We just need to understand what it's for specifically. And then
Okay.
we'll talk about it,
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
It's just, and I would just be clear that, hey, Dan's had his personal things going on. He has not been available for several months. We understand that that's the situation, but because that's been the situation, we haven't known what's going on. We've had no reports, we've got no additional information, and so paying money for something that may, have happened, but we don't even know what it was for,
Right.
it's just not reasonable.
Right.
Okay.
I just want to clarify, like, you're not putting in the email that we're willing to pay it, correct?
I'm
That
just gonna
we're
ask for
just gonna-
I'm just gonna ask for a breakdown. Can we get a breakdown of what exactly we're paying for in these invoices? As we haven't received an update due to health concerns with Dan, and no follow-up from anyone else at FPB&H, can we get a breakdown? That's all I'm gonna do at that point.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
then I'll let you guys, I'll forward all the information, including the invoices, to you guys, so that you'll all be able to review what they say.
Thank you.
I just put this out there. This might be, if you are having difficulties with communication right now, this might be a good opportunity to ask for a meeting with them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if we're
figure
gonna
out, like-
send them something more formal, this should be a
We have
letter.
asked them to
I mean, this
come
should
to
be
the
a
meetings.
letter.
Yeah,
They
this
don't.
one.
Yeah, this should be a letter, a written letter.
Just,
That-
I mean, you're saying, hey, we have questions about these bills. We would like to sit down and have a meeting with you.
Good point.
That allows you to
Absolutely.
whoever
Yes.
the contact is, they'll show up. People generally show up. Then they
Actually,
wanna get paid.
why don't you write something up and send it to me, and I'll sign it as the president of the council, saying we want a meeting to discuss these bills and also, you know, how you plan to move forward. And I will at that point tell them that we're already looking at other options, and we did include them, you know, but they would have to come up with a reason why we would continue.
Okay. Is there, Roxanne, not to make life difficult, but is there a way that we can all see what that letter says? Like, not just send it to Roger, but send
Sure,
it to
send it
all
to
of us,
everyone.
so
Yeah,
we
of
can
course.
read what it
Yeah,
says? That
of
way,
course.
if we don't agree with something, we can definitely say so.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'll put it on town letterhead too.
That's good. Okay, anything else there? All right, thank you. The next item is town webpage, IT services updates, discussion. Jesse's not here, I don't think.
No, he stopped by. He did not know he was on the agenda.
Okay.
I guess nobody contacted him, so
Yeah, I
he
mean-
had plans for this evening. So
Okay,
he,
that's fine.
he
So
said
he
that,
did communicate with me, I just want to make a point,
yeah.
and this may be unfortunate. So I just had to remember a little bit. So the original website,
Mhm.
the knightstown.in, I purchased that website
Yeah, that's kind of what
back
he
in
figured.
16 or 17, and I had this
Yeah.
conversation, because I went and looked
Yeah,
to see, and it was coming due, and knowing that we weren't wanting to use it anymore, I turned off the payment, which means it's no longer there. We don't own it anymore. Nobody here owns it.
okay.
So unfortunately, because I did that, we can't forward that website.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
did send an email to Revise and ask them to turn it off,
oh, okay.
because I had the contact and I can make another call, because I noticed today it's not turned off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still there.
Now,
Yeah.
they may push back if they look at the domain and say, well, you don't own it, which is
Yeah.
another good reason that Knightstown's web pages should not be there.
Right,
So, but they are still there,
okay.
and we need to get those shut
Well,
down.
he said, couple updates that he wasn't really sure just what you wanted updated on, but as we discussed, he's working on the TV, but we've gotta get the plug in. He has all of the minutes for 2025 online.
Great.
He did wanna ask, Michael, this is more for you, can we put meeting minutes that are not approved yet online? Like, so when we get these meeting minutes done, can we put them on the website, just maybe put them in a category that, stating that they're not approved at this time, but putting it out there of what was discussed in the meeting? He wanted me to ask that.
I mean, I would say no,
Okay,
kinda what I
because
thought.
it's not official until.
until
and
they're
then
signed.
That way, there's not a confusion as to
Okay,
what the official, I mean, it may be the exact same thing, but, since it's not official yet, probably wanna not cause problems.
Okay.
They could put their meeting memoranda, they could post that though. I mean, the memoranda has to be created as the meeting is progressing, and that's completed as soon as the meeting's done. That's a public record that's accessible as soon as
Well,
the meeting's over.
If that's created, then if you want to, if that's a thing that is created.
So are we
here,
giving a different name to the minutes to say that we could
But-
propose
So
it?
minutes are not actually legally required. I mean,
Okay.
memoranda are, correct?
I,
The statute says you have to create meeting memoranda, then it says if you create minutes,
yeah.
you know, so.
Well, let me talk to, because a lot of this is, now that we are in the brand new world of, we have this
Yeah, video and everything.
video, and so you have to have that. The question is, but specific to the question about the minutes, I would say don't post,
Yeah.
minutes that are not the official
okay,
approved minutes.
okay.
Kevin, did you get the email from Jesse earlier?
Yes,
So now on the Town of Knightstown website, up on the top right corner,
Yeah.
the YouTube page is linked.
I saw
So people
that.
can go
good.
there to find the
Okay,
recordings.
that's good. So I want to make a comment. I think the picture on our web page, front page, is a really cool picture. I personally don't believe it belongs on our front of our web page at all. I think it actually represents Knightstown very badly from the perspective. It's a cool old picture, and so yeah, put it there somewhere. I think we need to replace that with something. I've even thought of just put the new Knightstown logo up there for the moment. The other possibility would be to have a contest for the best picture from somebody in town that represents Knightstown, you know, in a positive light to the community and to others, and pay $50 for the best picture or something, right? What do you think?
I think that's like a
But I personally
photograph.
would like to see us replace that, that picture.
Okay.
Any other thoughts by anyone?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
No,
No, that wasn't where that came from.
No, I think that's a great idea, a photo contest or
Yeah, I
something
think that's
like
kind of neat.
that.
So, do we want to make a motion to do that, or?
So we call that the, what is that called, the cover page or
Yeah, the front page of the website.
headline?
Yeah, the homepage.
The
Homepage.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Will there be like an award for it, or?
I was saying, yeah, I would say let's make it $50 or something that says, okay, hey, it's worth something, I can actually take action here maybe and get
Or
$50 if I've got a really nice picture.
Oh, yeah. One thing that we
And
did.
we need to get some specifications around it, right? It's gotta be certain resolution. I mean, we probably need Jesse's help with that to make
Yeah.
sure we
Right.
get something that works well there.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I'll talk to him about it.
That's
Maybe
Okay.
something with the Hoosier Gym on it.
Could
Oh.
be,
That's what's
Yep.
famous.
could be Hoosier Gym. Yeah, but I think we just get a lot, I mean, I know originally, I don't know, maybe it's still on there, but, you know, I walked out in the middle of 40 and took a picture of downtown. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I think people have ideas and be creative and we can
Yeah.
get some good ideas.
Yeah.
And even more than, I mean, I think, you know, there's other locations within the website would be useful to have
Oh, yeah.
pictures of Knightstown.
Mhm.
And so, you know, I would say once they're submitted, they're the property of Knightstown, which is
Right,
normally
right.
how you would do that, and they may be used.
And if we get 10 or 20 or whatever, the public could vote on them too, I guess.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah, we can.
or we pick some that we like and
Yeah.
say, these 10 we like.
Okay. Anything else on the webpage or IT services
That
update?
was
Shannon?
really all he had.
I think
Headshots.
Shannon, did you want
Oh,
to
we-
add
Oh,
something?
sorry, you did
I
wait.
mean, it's appropriate for me to comment.
Oh, yeah.
Just in regard to the old website domain, if nobody has purchased it and is like squatting to try to resell it, it shouldn't be very expensive to reacquire that.
That's a good point.
Um,
That's true. I didn't check that.
Might be a
I can
small
look at that.
investment that would pay off just by,
I doubt if anybody got it. It's not a very valuable
nobody's
domain, I'm
waiting
sure.
to grab it like.
I will check that
Apple.com.
later. That's a good point. I hadn't really considered that.
For some reason, it's the first, like, if you just type in Knightstown,
Well, it's been out there a long time, right? So
Yeah.
Google's
yeah.
got that information over and over and over, and so, yeah, that's the first thing.
The only other Knightstown in the world that I understand is in Ireland, so.
County of Kerry.
Yeah.
We're also gonna have the camera in here. Between Katie and our new employee Michaela, we're gonna ask everybody to stop in sometime next week if you can. And so we can get a headshot, so we can get everybody's information and
Yeah.
For the
photo up
website.
on the way. Sorry, I gotta do it too, sister, I know, trust
Find
me.
one.
So, yeah, just
Okay.
sometime next week, we're gonna have the camera here pretty much all week so that you guys, you know, we can try to be flexible with it, with everybody and get everybody in here for a picture so we can do your headshots.
Okay.
Can you tell us about Michaela? I don't know who she is or.
Michaela started with us on Monday. She's, as you know, she's clerk's office, Landon's assistant, police assistant. She came from Mount Vernon. She was the athletic director assistant at Mount Vernon. So she has a lot of organizational experiences. She also has some grant writing experience. So she is able to assist with grants and stuff. That's actually been something she's been working on a good portion this week. She's done training with Katie through the week, and even went over to Middletown and sat with her counterpart at Middletown, Shelby, that does the job over there, just to kind of understand what her role will be as far as assisting the police department and what have you.
Great.
So she's spent some time, since she's had some downtime, obviously, waiting on all of her sign-ins and everything with the police department. So she's already been doing some research. She's researching some grants for the possibility of updating upstairs,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that we can, maybe get that fixed up for
That'd be
the police department and have some training, rooms and stuff up there and even offices for the guys. So, she's got, she's not a big grant writer, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she can write big grants, but she does have, grant writing experience, so she's knowledgeable in the research and what has to be submitted and that kind of stuff, so.
Great. What's her last name?
Bova.
Oh, okay.
She is my daughter.
Okay.
okay.
Yes. So, but she is since she's under Landon, we were able to work that out so that, she,
Okay.
so she, comes here with, I don't know, probably over 10 years in experience, because she worked for the State Indiana FFA Foundation,
Oh.
for 6 years and wrote grants for them, for years to come. I did not participate in the interviewing. I sat in just to kind of be in there, but Bruce and Landon actually performed the interview because Bart was in the hospital. So, I sat, they did all the work on that, and I just kind of sat there, represented the clerk's office in case there was any questions, but.
Sure. Great.
All right, next item is Halloween trick-or-treat hours. And we need a motion, it says, which of course we do.
We've done 5 to
What's
8
the
in the
date?
past.
What's the
It's
date,
Friday,
Michelle?
October 31st, this
We just
Friday.
do it. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good, it's a Friday.
So
that's
we've
good.
done 5 to 8 in the past is what you guys have generally done.
Yep, that makes
I don't
sense.
know.
And what day is Halloween on this?
Friday.
Friday.
It's on a Friday this year.
Okay.
So 5 to 8 on Friday the 31st.
I'll make the motion, we pass the Halloween trick-or-treat hours on Friday, October 31st from 5 PM to 8 PM.
Beat you
Sorry,
to it.
guys.
You're right.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the Halloween hours. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries, thank you. And the other item I think we've covered is the curb, Cary Street, and the paving, so, and we have approval of claims.
Right. Okay.
Turn your microphone on.
Already got it.
Okay, thank you. I'm his button pushed.
Okay.
I can't remember to push mine.
That's right. For the payroll docket, the dollar amount is $289,829.61. And part of that actually was also that there was a couple of big ones on there for 29,000 and for 50,000 just for the quarter 2 and quarter 3 federal taxes. So that's in case you wondered, it's a little higher because we had to pay those. And then the general council docket dollar amount total is $476,921.19. We had a couple good for the sewer. We had that Schubert treatment one, that was 43,000. A couple for the sewer that were expensive that were added into that, but not too bad.
So those were repairs that we did, or the payment?
One was for the bypass pump, and it was like 21,000 rain for rent, and then then there was the clarifier also for the Schubert treatment. Yeah.
What is the Leonardo Cyber and under the general police equipment maintenance and repair?
Leonardo, the LDR.
Oh, yes. They're asking what that is?
Yes.
That is, the license plate reader that they purchased with the grant for $80-some thousand a couple years ago. To get it switched from the old car to the new car, it was about a $2,000 fee to move it.
Oh.
Any comments or questions about the docket?
How's the trash pickup going since we switched to Rumpke? We finally got that straightened out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much better. We've had a couple of instances where they haven't picked up here on Mondays, and we call the salesman Jeremy Tuesday morning, and by Tuesday afternoon it's picked up. So much better.
Good.
I think that's the company they use for Jubilee Days.
I think so, yes.
And
Yeah.
they called them very late, and they ended up giving them
Yeah, they got the
the,
dumpsters here and set.
yeah,
or you
the
know,
trash bins.
trash
Yeah,
bins here and
very
set like
well.
within 24
That
hours.
was really
So
good. Because their policy actually is you have to do that 30 days in advance. They still did it for us.
I'll make the motion, we accept the payroll docket in the amount of $289,829.61 as presented.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second for the council docket, right?
No,
Payroll
the
The
payroll
payroll
docket,
docket.
and then I'm
Okay.
doing the
You
council
do it
docket
separate.
next.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the payroll docket, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
I'll make a motion, we accept the September 2025 council docket in the amount of $476,921.19.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the council docket. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Any other financial matters?
I do have one. I apologize. We have a bill here from IMPA for the new Stone Run complex up there. Wasn't sure if that's us to pay, if that's the developers to pay. Wasn't sure how that worked. We didn't put it on here yet, as it's a total of 21,937. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was reading only one amount. It's 43,000. Good Lord, have mercy. Let me scroll. The total is $45,000 even. Sorry. So, do we pay that? Does that go to the developer of Stone Run?
I think we need to talk to Ben and find out what that was for. Does it say what it's for? the bill?
It is for.
You know what it is,
so
Randy?
from-
Go ahead.
Randy got some information on
Okay.
it.
So there's a huge transformer pad mount up there. I mean, this thing's as big as a small building to provide power to the new bank building. And it's also providing power to the old bank building, which if that's ever tore down and you've got something else developed there, you're already set up to supply that. So the majority of this is for us to supply electricity to the new development.
Okay.
So new development is expensive.
Yeah,
And
right.
that's basically what that boils down to.
I mean, transformers,
Right.
we don't ask customers to pay for transformers,
Right.
right? So that would be, typically, we would pay for that out of the electric fund, right? So it's an expansion of our electric utility.
The inventory for the transformer was 23,000. The remainder is the other work they've done up there
Okay?
in moving. So I guess that's my question there
Okay.
is,
How does it break down?
do we
right?
eat the whole cost or does the developer?
I don't know
pay
what the other work is, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it just says project 100% complete. So I can go back to IMPA and ask for a breakdown.
Yeah, I would say let's do that.
So that we kind of know better how
Do you
to.
know more,
direct-
Randy?
There was underground power that had to be pulled,
Sure.
and all that kind of stuff. It's
Mhm.
everything that has to do with getting power to that new bank
Okay.
building.
So it's all about putting power into the building?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you can ask that and double check if you want,
Okay.
but I'm not surprised. I mean, that's a good
Is it-
long distance, there's,
That's the cost.
Underground
for the
work.
development.
yeah.
Is there any way of being nice about it in an email? Just, hey, moving forward,
Yeah,
this
give us
kind
the
of dollar
details so we
amount
know.
could be a little,
Right.
little more
Well, we need-
detailed
yeah, we
on
need to know
what it is
what-
we're doing.
We've tried that with them a couple times,
Yeah.
but they're always
Okay.
really great when we do call. They break it
And
down
I'm not
fast,
saying
so.
that they're not, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
really
like,
great
you know,
that Randy looked into it.
$45,000.
Yeah.
I'm sure
we
Ben
get
probably
three
was involved too
words.
and knows.
And
You
when
know.
we send in IMPA requests, they just come back with, oh, IMPA personnel verified it was complete.
Yeah.
So I call people, I'm like, hey, it's been completed, but what did you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, most of the time, they do send something, I want me or somebody to sign it, like the Terry Longworth bill. Obviously,
Yeah,
he's
yeah, that was a
aware
big
of
one.
that, but We've got an issue.
So that's a good example of one. We didn't pay for it, but
Yeah,
it
because that was
was
kind of the difference
quite a
there, that was
large
off the
amount.
beaten path. We didn't
Right,
already have power
right.
in that area.
But it's more about getting it way back to the location and everything, so. Yeah, I actually think we should do just what Jeffrey said, which is, we need a little detail. If it's over, if it's not just a standard maintenance issue, we need details about how the money was spent, what the work hours were for, and, cause it's not
I
small.
don't disagree. I've told them multiple times I don't like their invoices.
Well, we have a quarterly meeting with them.
I mean, it's very expensive.
Maybe we
It's
need
a
to
high
bring, we can
dollar
bring that
amount.
up. I
Yeah.
haven't heard when we're gonna do that again.
It's coming up.
Is it? Okay.
I've got it.
So we'll bring it up in our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
That was
All
to
right.
the primary, you said, right, to the primary.
Any legal matters?
Not that I'm aware
Not you're aware of? Yep. And then RDC, I don't think there's anything new there.
Unless you want to share bad news that we got.
No, I don't. I mean, we got advice not to do that, right? So that's my take. I take our lawyer's input.
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So we'll wait until we get further information. We don't really have all the information.
I did have one quick thing that, the Fall Fest is this weekend on Saturday. Should be a good day. But the committee had asked me to bring this up. They were able to figure out next year, the third Saturday is September 19th. And that's when they've traditionally had it, and they'd like to continue with that. And they need to talk to their vendors and all of that. So if that's something that we can tentatively okay, they have, mentioned or talked to Chamber also, but just wanted to get that in there.
For next year, you're saying?
Yeah, for next year.
To be able to go ahead and set
Right,
that. That
and-
is a good, I mean, it is normal, right? To
Yes.
talk to all the vendors and say,
Yeah.
this is the day, you can sign
Yeah.
up or get them.
And they've checked it out. There's, at all the other festivals, might be one or two that are in the area, but nothing like Riley Days or Farmers Pike or whatever, but
So you're asking for us to approve
Yes.
kind of the same weekend
yeah,
next year,
the
basically?
third Saturday of next year, of September.
I'll make a motion that we tentatively approve the third Saturday of September 2026 for Fall Fest.
Thank you.
I will second that, tentatively.
Okay.
Tentatively.
Tentatively.
Kevin, what did you say? You said the quarterly meeting, when is it?
I
coming up?
have to look,
For
I
April.
have it here
Okay.
in my
Dang, Bart, don't
papers.
know.
I'll look when we.
Okay, before we go there, let's vote. So we have a
Yes.
motion and a second to allow Fall Fest to be the same weekend as next year, as it is this
Right.
year.
Mhm.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
And that is all of our agenda. Anything else, anyone? Nope. All right, thank you. We're adjourned.
Let me see. I'm gonna have to-
Sign papers.
Oh, yeah.
8:48. 20:48.
Oh, yeah.
Military time.
Yeah. Everything